And welcome to Talk of the Tavern. It's October 8th, Monday, the second week of October, and tonight's topic is, I've been trying to find out what tonight's topic is for a while now. It's the big pharmaceutical versus holistic medicine. Isn't that correct, Andrea? Can you hear me, Andrea?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Apparently I was on mute. Thanks.
There we go.
I did send a banner. And it is an alternative and holistic medicine versus big pharmaceutical.
There we go. What are your vices tonight?
Me?
Yes.
I think I left my tea in your office.
No tea here.
I lost it. I lost my vice.
Sorry.
I guess I'll have to get a thing of you.
How do you live in such a wild world?
I just Elizabeth. Oh my God.
Did you say you're just Elizabeth?
She has her name above her head, but then she put on a hat and glasses and rolling around the room putting stuff on.
My turn. Hello, everyone from New York. It was a magical day today, and I will tell everyone about it. But I was out of my hat glasses and got me home. And I have fabulous Calvin Klein raincoat. Tonight, my vices are Diet Dr. Pepper, as always, my Dick's water, and love. Lots of John. Oh, John is not available.
John stepped away.
He left. Oh my God, is that just crutches in his screenshot?
It is. It is.
Somebody's screen save right now.
And by the way,
I need to have a talk.
Elizabeth, Chris said into the chat all of the pickles. That'd be Chris Hall, who we've hung out with before. You may remember him.
All of the pickles.
He's admiring your pickles.
Oh, my zombie. Oh, here's a little favorite one.
Oh my God, I'm looking on Twitch now. It is just the crotches in John's stat.
Somebody's screen save. Oh.
That is fabulous. Yeah, put your crotch there.
No way. Alright.
Well, it's not John. He's White Ed. Remember, we had White Ed. He's only White Ed on my
quad. It's a crotch and a quad. It's just a dingle.
A dinkle?
Just the edge. It's white.
I don't know what's wrong with us. It's just fun. Maybe it's too much alternative medicine.
Could be, or too much holistic.
It just
Maybe
is.
I need a nap.
Oh wait, okay. This is my impersonation. And so, then when you drink the sake, you want to be sure to slurp it in the lumber. That's it. Sorry.
Hey, I may be in that
Wait.
one that just played. The videos, I'm in some of them.
Travis, will you respond?
What am I responding to?
Should I put the MarsCon videos up?
Sure.
It just said MarsCon.
Oh, I can't see it. I can't see it.
Well, that's what I'm telling you.
Oh.
Oh, what is that? Ah!
This is when I could shoot for free in Smithfield, Virginia. Before the town figured out they charged people to shoot, I shot for free.
Look at all this.
They're all from my school. That's just footage, just before I edit it. There's my buddy with the towel on. It's Mike Franklin right there. Linda. Yeah. The town's really changed. It's gotten very corporate.
Aw.
People want to, don't call during showtime. Sorry, guys.
So is Kevin supposed to be on?
Kevin is due to be on in about 3 minutes from what he told me.
What? The bus wanker's going to...
Yeah, if you check the group messaging here, you'll see... Wait, did he put it here? No, he sent it to me. At 7:02 he says, just bus wankering my way out of work and I'll be home in an hour. So that means he should have been out home 4 minutes ago.
Once the wank out, always a wank.
But he has to wank his way from the bus home.
He does. He's got some... Hey, Lucy, you have some wanking to do.
Well, thank you very much.
That's great, because Pickleman was like just in sync with you as you were like, wank you very much. I looked over and, yeah, Pickleman.
He's getting elections, he's running.
Yes.
Pickleman for Congress. What the fuck? What could happen?
Wake and wake, don't wink back.
Hey, that could be a good way to get.
Is that you eating?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Why are you eating hot dogs?
Because I'm eating food that doesn't taste good. It's dry. You can barely swallow.
I'm sorry, that's fucking hilarious.
It's talking about the need to have a pickle. This is National Pickle Appreciation Day.
Indeed.
We should show it on the show sometime. It'd be fun.
Hey, we should introduce John real quick, too.
That's
Oh.
fantastic. John, nice for you to join us.
John from Conquest Publishing. Great to be here. My drink of choice is a Monster.
What
Stuck in a
flavor?
store, I'm sorry. Blue.
Blue. Shut up, you birds. You're beating all your food through a straw. It's from the first season of Simpsons.
Oh, everybody go down below the video and hit that share button.
On my way.
Oh, then go down below the video and hit the Discord channel so you can be part of us there.
That's beautiful. Look at that. That's beautiful.
And then go down below and hit Tip Your Tavern. Because why not?
Right back.
Tip it like the cow.
Chip it.
You know, I was sadly informed that you cannot actually go cow tipping because cows sleep laying down. So if you're tipping a cow, that damn thing will be awake and upset that you just pushed it over.
Now if you do it
Don't
gently.
ruin it.
Now, I figure if you push it, you got to push it real good. Dun, 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 dun. Push it.
Baby, baby.
Oh, that'd be a great song for your
See,
videos.
again, she's like lip syncing to the pickle as she's going, oh, baby, baby.
Wow.
He's like in perfect sync up with you.
They're in perfect harmony.
Well, it is my hand up his ass. Actually, it's more through the back of the skull, as if someone would have
Pickle anus.
and the jaws.
Did you say pickle anus?
I did say pickle anus.
Well, that would explain why mine puckers.
Oh, I know that one. Okay. Pickles.
Mhm.
Pickles are zombies, right?
Travis,
Yes.
what are your ices tonight? I forgot.
I got nothing.
Yeah, not even soda. Nice.
I got water.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Now, I guess I could open the window and have a pipe. But Andrew's going to come in here afterwards, and I don't want it to be all stinky.
Oh, pipe don't bother me.
Excellent. Pipe it is then. I do have
I
a
still
headache.
hear my echo though.
I had to turn it
see,
See,
back
I
up.
hear myself again.
I
Elizabeth,
do too.
Elizabeth, you'll have to check it out when you come here. You can hear people better in her room than you can in here from my speakers. The acoustics are weird.
I watched the video. I'm in this one.
But I know how to fix it. Can you two just entertain folks for a minute and I'll be right back?
Well, we'll give it a shot.
Okay.
They're doing the dance. I didn't.
Good job. Focused.
I don't know where he went. Hey, you can bring me Yoo-hoo. I still hear my echo.
I do too.
I know, it's crazy, right?
It is John.
That's you. Wait, I'm in one of the fast ones. I saw me.
I think I saw you. Hang on.
It was
Have
my-
the car.
It was my cape from City of Heroes that John gave me.
Hang on. Let's see if we can find it. Tell me.
Back in the day. Keep going. No, 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 no. Nope. No.
That's you.
Yep.
That's you.
That's me.
That's.
I've known you a very long time.
I know, but we have, we
But I
barely
knew you before
spoke.
that. You're just like, can I take your picture? Okay.
I just ran up to everyone, anyone in a costume, I would run up to and just wanted to
She
take a
would.
picture.
She'd run up, tackle them, and say, let me take your picture.
Only if they ran. If you don't run, the gorilla. There you are.
That's me.
2012.
Yeah.
Done.
Travis, we're echoing so bad. So bad. Don't look at me like that.
It's gotten kind of clicky.
Click, click.
Have you seen the new Doctor Who?
Yeah. What does it say? Yeah, Chris says, yeah, getting some static. No, I haven't seen the new Doctor Who. I don't really watch those.
I think I caught one where all the shit was going down and the doctor suddenly rose up from the floor and apparently he was unconscious most of the episode and they were trapped in a train or some kind of public transportation. It was fun. Whispering, Weeping Angels or whatever, and that's it. I find them kind of, they're cool. God, I haven't seen these in a while. It got me all distracted.
All the video.
Way nuts. That's cool. I like it when everyone just has fun.
I always have
Really
fun.
do. Yeah, do.
'Cause
I don't know what you're talking about. I got nothing about
What is that one? Is that a different one? That's not the zombie one.
2011.
Oh, I might be in that.
Well, excuse me. Manners
I
for a
think
pig.
that was my first one. That was my first time. Crazy. It's good to see you again. Travis, what's up? Chicken butt. Quiet man over there.
Oh, I'm just changing the
You're on
setup.
mute.
No, no, I'm not.
Really?
Can you hear me? Can anybody hear me?
I hear you.
Yeah, I hear you.
So I went to that bar tonight, Valhalla, up in Hell's Kitchen. I couldn't resist the temptation. It's Hell's Kitchen. Drank too much beer, and the bartender, young, spiteful, and they got. I let them each select their beer, and they sample as many as I wanted. It was lovely. Valhalla, Hell's Kitchen, New York. Fabulous.
When you say they let you sample as many as you wanted, was that the beers or the bartender?
Mm.
I wouldn't be here if it's the latter.
She'd be
But
hospitalized like a proper woman would be.
I'd still be going. It'd be slowing down.
God damn it, come back here and ride my Valkyrie.
Your whole
Oh,
body.
it was a lovely experience. And then I left, and they had a happy hour, and then at 1 a.m. was the angry hour.
Because they
I
make
find
everybody leave.
one normally follows the other.
And they give $5 for a dozen buffalo wings an hour. And they were encouraging people to eat because it's special prices on middle order beer. In Virginia Beach, they just play classical music and turn on all the lights.
To make you leave.
Yep. I was pulling an all-nighter in a hotel, and it was not packed. It was raining. I opened the door around 2:30, 3 in the morning, just to get some air, and the street lights were very, very bright. Classical music, and I walked out, and I thought, just love here. And I looked on the street, and all these young people are, smoking and gathering and leaving. And I remembered that, they do that to drive them away.
Why? That would kind of make you want to stay for a nap.
Yeah, it's because you're old.
Hey! Well, yeah.
I like it. I'm old.
I play up to it. When they're in the middle of the street, drunkenly waving a decanter of porter, and finally some bloody class to the evening. Got any Chopin, my good man? Let's get this party jumping.
Yeah, I was going to say, break out the sherry.
Who's she?
Well, who cares? Who cares? Let's break her out.
She has to say. I agree, but I'm old. They made me rules about the mosquito noise that they would play sound to the speaker system that only young kids can hear, and it was just the way. And they put the volume really high. They finally the law started catching up with that. I'm not sure how I feel about it.
That's weird.
They tried that in this country for a while. That whole having speakers on the lampposts playing essentially a version of white noise that was supposed to scare off itinerant children. All that happened was the communities they tried it in, they nicked the speakers.
I thought you were going to say
never underestimate the tenacity of a Manchester Scally.
Oh, Manchester pulled it out the other day. Newcastle was up 2-0, and then the Manchester won.
I'm just going to smile and say yes, because I feel at this point it would be somewhat unpatriotic of me to point out I can't stand football. So yay Manchester.
Travis.
Do you know Man United have got the best football pitch in England? Because every weekend they put millions of pounds worth of shit over it.
Yes, Andrea.
Does it, under Kevin's face, does it say herpetologist? He's got the herp.
It was supposed to be herpologist or whatever the fucking they. What do you call yourself there, Kevin?
Herpetologist.
Spell it.
Herpetologist. I find man with big snake normally is a lot easier to understand and gets you more party invites.
And Jonathan, hello. How are you?
Are you wanking? What are you doing?
Are you talking to me?
I hear something.
I'm doing dubious things off of screen.
Speaking of
Sounds like
wankers, speaking of wankers, one of my bartenders tonight, his name is Christian. Hi, Christian, if you're watching. And knowing me, you know, really got him kidding around. We were talking about if he had a dancer, our stage name, dancer. His was Cinnamon 2x4.
Mm. That's
And I
fabulous.
called him, I said it should have been Cinnamon.
Makes sense.
Man, with sugar. Sure.
Thank you, Andrea.
We have no sound for that, do we?
You guys don't hear it. The audience
Oh.
does.
Oh. Well, good.
Oh wait, yeah, we have an audience and everything, don't we?
I see
Hi guys.
Madhawk came in.
Yes, I said hello to Jonathan.
Okay. See how much I pay attention.
And I addressed Christopher's concern. Why are you?
You're confused.
Why were you confused, Jonathan?
Welcome to the tavern. I must go get my vice of you, who I'll be back.
It's in the door. Kevin, go on. You were saying stuff, many stuffs. I'll interrupt
Many
when
stuffs.
Jonathan answer.
What stuffs would you like me to talk about? I've got nothing to talk about. I've done fuck all for weeks apart from going to work.
My hairy ass, you wouldn't stop talking for a minute there. I figured, oh my god, this man needs to get out or stay in or something.
It's because for weeks they've been denying me my weekly therapy
Yeah,
session, you know?
I know,
Like
I know.
someone finally allowing me access to my counsellor after weeks.
Which is why I say, go on, keep talking.
Okay, work sucks. My life's bollocks. I'm working horrendous amounts of hours. I miss all of you. My life is a dull, repetitive cycle of serving ungrateful customers and attempting to do 6 different jobs at once whilst only being paid adequately for one of them.
Here, here.
Cheers.
Are you,
We don't have.
Bollocks.
We didn't have a toast.
Are you still hourly?
I am. The one saving grace, the one shining light at the end of the shit tunnel that is my life at the moment, is that I am still rinsing my parent company horrendous amounts of money for what I'm doing. It's, to be honest, I've kind of reached that point now where I don't care how much they're paying me. I've just had enough. It's gone on beyond all ridiculous amounts. Any time scale they gave me for what I was supposed, for how long I was supposed to be doing this for, is just been shot down in flames and pissed up the walls. It was only supposed to be going on for 5 weeks, and I think I'm now coming to the end of week 9, and I've got another 2 or 3 to go yet.
Have they chosen a new manager yet?
Well, they've chosen who's coming in to cover the place next. It's not the same as picking a new manager. She may get it if she does well, but she's another assistant manager. So essentially somebody else of my rank, but with longer service with the company.
So
they won't offer it to
if
me.
you're doing the job, why won't they offer it to you?
because company policy stipulates that you cannot be a general manager until you've been an assistant manager for a minimum of 3 years with a company. I've only been an assistant manager since January.
Well, it's their choice to cut off their own balls out of their own stupidity.
The fact that I'm actually doing the general manager's job as well as my own job and associated other parts of various barmen's and chefs' jobs as well is irrelevant, apparently. The fact that I'm actually capable of doing the job now is not a reason, apparently, why I would be capable of doing it in the future. So, go figure.
See, if you do the job and do it well, they fuck you. That's the moral of the story.
I wouldn't. Do you know what? I wouldn't mind if they fucked me. At least somebody would be.
Well, that's why we have you on the Talk of the Tavern. Kevin, surprise, but tonight...
You're getting fucked.
Awesome.
Apparently we're using beer for lube and barman for the fucking.
Fair enough.
Well, there you go.
Viking barman, nonetheless.
So, Elizabeth, were they very Viking-alike?
No, God, not at all. You know what?
They were normal bartenders.
I think they thought they were Viking because they hung a shield on the wall, and chintzy helmets, you know. But it was really fun atmosphere and good.
Oh, that's good.
Really. They had beer that I said no because I had to get on the show. I'm not going to have 4 9%er.
See, I'd like a really authentic Viking themed bar where if you don't settle your bar tab by the end of the week, they blood eagle you outside the front doors.
Well,
Did you say blood eagle or blunt eagle? Because I get the feeling they're very different things.
Blood eagle, where they chop 2 axe wounds into your back, reach through your rib cage, reach in, pull your lungs out, and drape them over your shoulders so they hung down your back like a pair of bloody wings.
Gotta be tough to give her.
Well, that's fashionable.
Friday night.
I've seen worse at closing time, frankly. At least they use an axe, not a broken Budweiser bottle.
I wish I had a friend. I mean, I had drinking buddies. I don't have drinking buddies yet. I have one, but I'd go at angry hour.
I quite often have evenings, because I'm quite a rural location for my bar, so I can have some nights where I'm busy, and then I can have other nights where my last customer's in at 9:30 in the evening, and I'm not allowed to shut the doors until 11. So the next time that happens, Elizabeth, I'll message you. You can go out drinking, and you can take some kind of mobile device. I will drink with you, but from 3,000 miles away. You out having fun somewhere in the metropolis of New York, and me sat on my own in the middle of the English countryside, no Billy No Mates, down in Talisker like it's tap water.
He always gets you at the end. He always just sticks it to you at the end. Well, I will be paying shitloads of money for shit. Speaking of shit, I did have a new Budweiser. My father asked me to try it. I did mention it on the show. And it's called the Copper Lager. And they brew a Budweiser and let it age in Jim Beam barrel. And I have to say it was the best Budweiser I've ever had. But one was enough. Okay. Actually, maybe a half of it was enough. But it was pretty good. And
so when you say it was the best Budweiser you've ever tasted, you mean it was only moderately like a bottle of lukewarm piss?
I would say lukewarm. I would say, okay, this is how I rated it. It had a pleasant aroma. It was quite appealing, visually. It had an interesting taste. It had a nice taste. It went a little too flat on the palate, and I gave it a 6 out of 10.
Fair enough.
On a hot day, it'd be really good. The saving grace was it was 6.26% alcohol. Be careful on this lawnmower. Okay, here's my beer of the week. They had Iceland beer, but I didn't want to pay $30 for a beer.
Ow.
Oh my God.
What's it distilled from? Minced polar bear?
No.
I don't know if it was, but I remember the last time I did. How is quantity? Quality.
Everything in Iceland is more expensive. Apparently, it transfers over when you import their beer.
It is expensive
Fair
there,
enough.
but it's really pretty.
A long way away.
They did sack their government and fire all their bankers, though, so fair play to them.
That might be
Easily.
worth paying more.
I was going to say, I could settle for a $30 beer if we could do that in this country.
Hmm.
Well,
That's got to be a hell of a beer. I mean, that's
And trust me, it doesn't have to be, because it's one fucking hell of a government. Hell being the operative word in that sense.
well, then it needs to be a very powerful beer.
It needs to be an incredibly strong beer so we can drink to forget the financial whirlpool we're slowly tidling away down.
Hmm.
here.
God, I needed that coffee.
One of my darker moments when I was here in New York, I thought, well, at least when I die, I don't have to worry about money.
It took a dark moment for you to think that? It's almost a mantra in my life.
I'm just trying to be entertained, Trev.
Oh, not honest? My bad. As you were.
Every moment, yeah.
I am gonna be entertaining on a cat's ass here in a minute.
Oh my.
You are.
Are we taking our clothes off now?
Yeah, go ahead.
I've just seen John's comment. My title makes it sound like I'm a herpes specialist. I hadn't realised the rumour had spread across the Atlantic.
We don't think of him as a specialist as much as an expert.
More an enthusiastic amateur.
Wow. Awkward.
Like many amateur herpetologists, I picked most of it up in internet chat rooms.
So what
So
do you
what
have
have I
playing in
missed?
the background? Sorry.
This is the beer and wine fest.
Oh.
So all these people with money, and they let me take pictures of them being drunk.
It's great.
Great place to find cruise. That's my Rotary Club. We raised well every year they've been raising over $100,000, and it goes back to the charities in the area. That's pretty cool.
How do I become one of these charities?
I don't know. I think we have to get official or something. 'Cause that's your
What?
deal. I could
Ruin all
use
my
some
plans.
free money. Hey,
What'd you say, John?
You have to lie.
Oh, that's okay. That's
Oh,
fine.
so you have to be a politician?
I'm a
Harry.
publican. I'm used to lying. No, of course you're not drunk, sir. Yes, you look fabulous in a dress, madam. No, of course your order isn't a pain in the ass. I'd be happy to do that for you.
John, you got a lot of crotches around.
They're everywhere.
Head to head with John. Head to head to head.
Taller.
Gonna have to get him a stool to sit on.
Yeah.
Are playing with the distance. There's a John. It's just like
What's our wonderful back?
Oh,
Say
do you
that
need
again?
more paint, you said?
Um,
Do you need more green paint?
we might. We're gonna work on it.
Okay. Do you still have the can? Send me a picture of the label on top and I can get you more. That's all I need.
a quiet down.
To,
So I missed anything exciting in the last few weeks?
Actually,
that's
today
why I said
I turned the corner and I got onto Fifth Avenue and I walked right into a parade. The entire avenue was shut down and all these people with Italian flags. And I made a video for Talk of the Tavern and I was just, well, that was fun. And I
Very
just
Ferris Bueller of you.
I
Fabulous.
realized someone told me it was Columbus Day. I'm like, oh, that's right. It was cool. They were giving every Italian flag.
It's Canadian Thanksgiving.
Oh, I meant to.
Oh, it's the 11th year anniversary, Travis, of Talk of the Tavern.
Last week was the 11th
Yeah,
anniversary.
that's
of
what
Talk
he
of the Tavern.
missed.
The 6th year
Aw.
of, well, Ed missed it too. Ed has taken 2 weeks off.
If I'd known, I'd have come in for like 10 minutes or something. I'd probably have looked like, well, I don't look great now, but I'd have looked like a warmed up corpse this time last Monday. But
Well, it's
As long as you're warm, whatever.
you were here for the
warm
5th
enough.
anniversary of the video of the live, and that was also
Yeah.
our 10th anniversary of broadcasting altogether. So that was last year. You made the important one.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Chris was here.
It's not for lack of wanting to be here. I've not been here for a few weeks.
Oh,
Trust
I
me.
understand. Oh, by the way, you remember Chris Hall, my first co-host? We had him
Yes,
on.
I remember Chris. Yeah.
Well, when you see somebody named Cavalon in the chat, that's Chris.
Oh, okay.
He came on for the anniversary show.
He was on last week also, him and John.
How is he? Keeping all right?
Yeah, he seems to do okay. It's and Chris, if you are so inclined to answer, do feel free to do so. But he's
We all
working
play World of Warcraft now.
most nights, yeah. So if
It's
you're
the one.
Mhm.
Just like I said to you when you asked me the other week, ironically, having played nearly all of them out there, I think it's the one in MMORPG I never got into.
I just started. It's great.
It was my first, so it holds a special place for me.
I remember with great fondness, though, the video that did the rounds a few years back, where the bunch of guys ambushed that funeral that they were having in game for someone who died in real life. You guys seen that?
No,
No.
Okay,
Not
so
yet.
I'm sure you can find it on YouTube with a bit of simple Googling. I might even try and find it and post you a link if you want to watch it. But the basic breakdown is someone died in real life, and all of their friends in World of Warcraft all decided to get together in the same place, in the same part of the game world, by the side of this lake, and have like a memorial service in the game for the person who died in real life. And a bunch of other people found out about this and were like, hey, bunch of people all gathered in one place, great. So they got together a raiding party in the middle of the virtual funeral. They raided the party and slaughtered everyone.
that's
Oh,
awesome.
well, that's fun.
That's awesome. And I don't know if it's more awesome if it was an accident, oops, we didn't know, or if it's more awesome
Whoever
if they're
made
like,
the whoever made a video, someone made a video of it, and the video is brilliant the way they've cut it together, because it keeps cutting from all these people forming like a neat little queue of remembrance. They were all like dropping items by the side of this lake in a pile, like, here's, this is my gift for the funeral kind of thing. And they're all in this neat little queue, and then it cuts back to another scene of everyone rampaging through the countryside, chasing towards the location. It keeps cutting back and forth until the two groups suddenly come together in this huge clash. It's brilliant.
That's awesome. Like I said, even
Well,
what's that, Elizabeth?
I was gonna say, okay, I feel for those at the funeral. Cruel to do that. But, however, those at the funeral do realize that you're in World of Warcraft and you did not post sentries.
Yeah, if you were playing
People
War
were
of
ready.
Hugging, I could understand you being more upset, but
You're in the World of Warcraft. You should. At my friend's wedding, I was a maid of honor and I held a sword. She asked me to have a sword, and just in case. I was ready for zombies, but what are you gonna do?
Hi, Victoria.
Oh.
hello, Victoria.
See,
I gotta go. I'm totally out of water.
she was gone the whole time you were gone, Kevin, and we wondered.
If she
Oh, I bet you
kidnapped you
did.
and kept you.
Yeah.
No, if she had, I'd still be there. Oh no,
It's
please let me
Zoe.
go. No, you're right.
And Toei has shown up. They all
Hey,
came back when
Toei.
you came back. Look at that.
They missed you. Okay, we're not gonna do a welcome back in the Warcraft because then everybody will die.
Red wedding
Now,
style.
there is something else we'll be doing in World of Warcraft. I've
Mm-hmm.
decided to. You've seen the videos in game where they'll make like a music video and cut scenes from their character doing different things, emoting, etc.
Yes,
Um,
gotcha.
I'm going to do that. And more than just
Nice.
that, I'm going
Harry.
to make a series of music videos that I can interlink by filming some regular stuff and then doing voiceover for it. Because I've been reading the quest. Like the dwarves have a Scottish accent and the trolls have a Jamaican accent, etc. So I do
Of
the
course.
accents. Um, and some people have been amused, some people have been horrified, other people have been very entertained in a positive way. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. Let's. I'll make music videos.
I'm loving the idea of choosing Jamaican as the go-to accent for a troll.
It's yeah. Well,
Well, you know,
they don't look like a European troll. They're tall and blue or
they're
green
Jamaican,
skin and
man.
crazy hair and but So my thought is do a half dozen music videos, as time allows and energy gives, and then film some scenes to fit them together in between each music video, put it together as a 45 to hour long movie that's a musical.
Nice.
So basically what were, music videos stand alone are now part of a movie.
I get you.
But I get to
I
put it
love
out
that
in
idea.
segments of, oh, here's the music video, and then just record the in-between stuff, which might be as simple as the character that's in the videos sitting in a bar with somebody else talking to them, where they kind of narrate what's going on, then it breaks away to a music video to show that part of that character's story. I haven't decided. Keep it simple, let's not.
Mm.
Considering I won't be being paid for this because I won't even be able to monetize it because it's somebody else's music. But if I do it a second
Mm.
time, I'm going to reach out to some of the steampunk bands I know that can give me permission so I
Mm-hmm.
can monetize it
Mm.
and do like the whole soundtrack by Victor Sierra.
We'll see. Yeah, and that'll give them exposure also.
That's a great idea. Give yourself a pat on the back, that man.
Well, let's
And
me
a
accomplish it
second one for that hat.
Well, I can't wear the
Oh,
fedora with headsets.
I have a hat in the game.
It suits you. It's quite becoming.
Thank you. It goes with my meaty jowls. Tell us about your hat in the game, Andrea.
It's a hat of sausage.
You see,
It just
Kevin?
looks like a pile of poo, but it's like a ring of sausage on my head. It is my favorite.
You have a sausage hat.
Yes.
Well, like a Cumberland ring, like a spiral type affair.
Yes.
Or just a ring of sausages.
It's like ring, in like it looks like poo on my head, but it's sausage.
She looks like a shithead.
Okay.
It's fabulous. I love it so much.
I'm going to have to ask a question. Why?
Why not?
Why does this thing exist? Is it a magical sausage hat?
Let me explain.
Okay.
So, like a lot of the video games, they have holiday things that go on, and in this case, their Oktoberfest is Brewfest. Now,
Oh yeah, you
originally,
missed that.
you got a Wolpeltinger that's a bunny with wings and antlers, and
I
you
have
can
it.
collect that. And there's pink elephants that you gotta zap after you put on your beer goggles, etc. And I use our terminology that you'll understand as opposed to the game terminology. Well, after 10 plus years of doing this, they had to add new items, and one of the newer items is a sausage hat. And like she said, it's the huge, like, if you imagine 4 foot of sausage and individual long links curled up and put on somebody's head so it looks like somebody shit on your head. It's great.
Well, you asked what you missed, Kevin. When Brewfest started, Travis put on his lederhosen, and in his awfully wonderful German accent, went and played the game.
Elizabeth
Lederhosen.
hung out with me a lot that day. You're muted, Elizabeth. Everybody, please point in that now.
That's funny.
I love Oktoberfest. Travis, you were fabulous.
Thank you, man.
You kept that accent just going, and you were entertaining. I gave you time to have pitch in. It was super. So like,
I had him get lederhosen like several years ago. I'm so happy.
did he ever show his lederhosen? His lederhosen?
He did, and he danced, and I took pictures and put it on Instagram.
God in heaven.
As you do.
I told you what my favourite phrase in German is.
No.
It's the
No.
German for my windscreen is broken, which is mein Windscreen ist kaputt.
That's great.
Message for you, Andrea, if you care to read it out loud.
I know. That's it. God. All right. Toey says, so you have ring baloney on your head. That's like the worst princess tiara ever. Worst, WURST. Yes. Toey. My favorite.
With mustard.
No, because that would just be absurd. Come on.
That would be absurd. Never. You can never have too much mustard or pickles. Never.
Unless
Betcha
it's
I
on a mucin
can.
membrane.
What kind of mustard?
Any way it goes, it's not going to react well with the mucous membrane.
We were at the store today, and they had so many different types of mustards and
How many
things.
were
And I
there?
thought of you, Elizabeth.
Um,
A lot.
They're Coleman's.
They do.
No.
That's all right then.
No.
No?
No. We were
Oh,
at
fuck them, then.
Walmart.
Fuck them.
No, they
fuck
had
them and their
Coleman's.
amateur
Did
mustard
they have
collection.
Coleman's?
They did on the top shelf.
Oh, okay.
they do carry Coleman's at Walmart, and it's in a plastic.
No.
Heard of that? The one I
No,
got.
this is a little
The
glass
The
jar.
glass jar is amazing. Yeah, that's proper Coleman. Not that it makes fuck all difference what container it's in, but
That's
yeah,
exactly
I'm not a fan of the squeezy mustard. To me, Coleman's is in a jar, glass jar.
Well, we went to the store, and Walmart is like bare. They've gotten rid of things, and they're putting new stuff in, and they actually have a Mexican section that is not just tacos. I'm very impressed.
What is it?
Well, they have like Mexican snacks and
It's actually Mexican
powdered.
products.
Yeah.
You know, it's which
I was
all
very
of them
impressed.
usually had like a 4-foot section, but it's not all Ortega and Pace Picante sauce. It's, you know, you're looking at Bimbo products and stuff like that instead.
What's a Bimbo product?
It's actually
Type of cookie.
it's a very big snack company in Mexico. And I remember when I first saw it, it was on a sticker on the door of a Wawa, and it says, "We now sell Bimbo products." And I'm like, "This is great!" And I took a picture because I had no clue what it was.
Is that not just anything made by a Kardashian?
Well, heaven knows
Only in
about the Olsen
Mexico.
twins.
When I lived in Japan, very much changed my opinion on products and health standards. You know, what you buy. That's cans would just be like not like a can, like maybe not that one.
Wow.
Bimbo. Are they good? How's the candy? Does it taste like a Bimbo?
I haven't tasted one of those.
Travis?
When I worked at the Mexican restaurant for almost 2 years, I tried a lot of these things.
Bimbos?
Yes. Yes.
The product or the work?
Well, one makes the other.
Tomato.
If only I knew the
Tamale.
Spanish word for tomato. I could be like tomato, el tomate. I don't know.
Tamale, tomatillo.
Tomatillo. See? It's but anyhow, yeah, you know, some is good and some is nasty, and most of it is kind of in between, which means it's just not to our what our palate has been taught for decades. You know, where you eat it, you're like, oh, I can see if I grew up with it, this would be good. But I didn't grow up with it, so I'm like,
It's
very
something I always
neutral.
do, or we've always done, Em and I, since we've been together. Whenever we go away anywhere, it's the first thing we always do is go and find a local shop that's not selling stuff for tourists, and then buy up a shitload of local snacks and stuff.
That's what
Obviously, you
we
have
did.
to. Tragically, you have to eat the first batch yourself because you got to pick and choose the best ones to take home to the family. You know, so it requires a great deal of on-site research. But
It's like those
It
American
does.
chocolate hearts for Valentine's Day, where you just never know what you're about to put in your mouth.
You,
Oh, not that one.
I do miss the chips over there, though. Or what are they? What are
I
potato chips
just
called? Crisps or?
crisps.
Oh God.
I need, yeah, it's a high time overdue, actually, isn't it? While I'm raking dollar, I should send you a care package.
Oh my God.
No, you should pay off your car.
Yeah.
Mm, mm, yeah,
We'll just
definitely need
come
to get some
visit again.
transport. Oh, a car. I want a bike. I miss my bike.
You should pay off
Go
your
get one.
bus.
No, I pay those fuckers enough. Trust
Yes,
me.
Elizabeth.
Okay, today on Fifth Avenue, I saw a man wearing a shirt. It was black with white lettering, and it just said "insane." And I thought, oh, that's great. I should get a shot. And then I thought, well, what if it's accurate?
It's a warning.
I didn't bother him.
You know, it'd been
It's not.
different if it
It's
was a
not a
white.
fashion statement. It's a safety label.
If it was a white shirt with black lettering, it would have been okay, because then he's just a generic kind of insane, nothing you really need to worry about.
I want my last words on this earth to overhear is someone saying,
If
"What?
he's,
Do we have to write it out for you?"
if he's really insane, wouldn't it be black t-shirt with black lettering?
Maybe I'm insane because I can see the letter.
You're the only one who can see it. I do
And I
have
got
one bit.
stuck in that loop, and I'm like, "Oh,
Speaking
no,
of insane things to do, I have one bit of news which ironically ties into the vague title of tonight's show. I've injured myself.
Mentally,
decided
physically, or emotionally.
Well, all three of the above in the last couple of months, certainly. But no, I decided to burn an enormous lump of skin off of myself.
Oh,
Do you need help choosing which part, or have you already done it?
oh, he's gonna show. Oh, Kev. Oh, ouch.
Crew tattoo removal at your service.
What did you do?
So inadvertently, whilst reaching over to the far side of the pass to plate up some food while I was covering a chef on his break one day, I leaned over and I pressed the soft underarm of my left arm directly onto a smoking red hot iron skillet
Mm.
that I was about to serve up. You know, like we do like fajita sizzlers and stuff. You have the metal skillets that you heat up really hot first so the food goes out sizzling. It was one of those, and it had just been on the hob, literally just come straight off the gas ring, smoking hot, ready to go out. And I leaned over the top of it to grab something and pressed my arm down onto it by mistake. I've burnt a huge lump, literally about the size of this bandage, on the underside of my arm.
Are you okay? No nerve
Yeah, I'm
damage
fine.
or anything like that?
Not that I can tell so far. It's only a few days old, so it's
You
pretty
wanted a day
nasty
off
one.
of
But
work.
that's why it's still covered. No, that fat fucking chance.
Didn't
I
have
went back to
cancer?
work the same day. I left work, I went up to accident and emergency. The hospital was only a 10-minute drive away. One of my staff drove me up there. It took them about 45 minutes to check me out, give me a quick shot of something local in the arm to take the sting away because it was hurting a lot, and bandage it up. And 2 hours after I did it, I was back at work.
Now
You're
that
a
we know you're
trooper.
okay, we will proceed to mock you.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, take the piss.
That would sting, and we're not that cruel.
Yeah, you are.
Hmm.
That's why I hang out with you. I don't hang out with nice people.
Well, that's good. 'Cause we're not.
Elizabeth.
What was the dish that you were willing to injure your fabulous arm?
It was an utterly boring chicken fajita.
Ah,
Did they still serve it?
Well, the fajita, yeah, just not on that skillet because it had lumps of meat stuck to it.
It's a little bit of extra.
Good.
The chef put
People
extra in
going
there.
away to TripAdvisor. Really love the chicken fajita. Those crispy skin pieces in there really made the dish.
You could be on to a new recipe.
Yeah, I suppose.
I put myself into every dish.
Human forearms not been on the menu. British people are pretty weird with food. I think we've tried pretty much everything else. We
Is
we
it
famously had a
marinated? I mean,
we had a restaurant in London that for a few months until the local council got involved with some bylaws and stopped them doing it because they were worried about the health concerns. But they were selling an ice cream that was made from human breast milk.
oh yeah, I remember you talking.
Apparently,
Oh,
it's really
natural.
nice.
You didn't try it?
Mm-mm.
Was it made on premises?
No, it's in London. I live on the Isle of Wight. We don't go to London. People from London come here on holiday, which is why we don't go to London. We hate the bastards when they're here. So
I go
there
everywhere.
there are a lot of rich people in London who have second homes, holiday homes here on the Isle of Wight because we get the most sun in the UK. So it's a popular holiday destination. So it's quite the in thing to have a holiday home on the island, posh place in a secluded close somewhere. So they're known on the island as DFLs, down from London's.
Do we have a week in history, Travis?
We do. I wanted to ask, does anybody need to take a break for a minute or two before the next hour? It's almost 9 o'clock.
As a herpetologist, I'm going to take a couple of minutes and go and siphon the python.
You do that, and I'll do our announcement if anybody wants to take a break. But I do want to remind you, just below the video, you can share this and bring in all your crazy friends or your hated enemies. Don't forget also, just below, you can support the tavern by clicking on one of the 3 buttons of the newsletter, joining us on Discord, or even tipping the tavern. When we're not live and on air, which is many hours every day now, you can also listen to us on all kinds of places: Google Play, iTunes, iHeartRadio, YouTube, Spreaker, Stitcher, Overcast, and more. To support us in other ways, feel free to pick up some awesome Talk of the Tavern merchandise, or support us
Bandages.
on bandages. Were you going to go drain your python? This is what I was going to do while you were gone.
Okay,
I'm
bye.
covering for you.
I go crazy.
He's the whole entertainment. If he doesn't pee while I'm talking, when does he get to pee?
On camera.
And don't forget, you can throw bits at it. Don't take the pants down yet. Throw bits at us, and also you're welcome to subscribe for free if you have an Amazon account. Otherwise, pays the monies. I think that's pretty much what we got now, right? Okay, good. Now, did anybody actually... I bet you nobody has anything for this week in history, do we? We have a few things.
No, I didn't. But
Yes, Elizabeth.
All right. This day in history, 1492. Christopher Columbus. So I guess he's American.
But
Yeah,
we should wait till everybody's back and we play the intro music for it.
Oh,
And then we can
oh
go into
shoot.
it.
I'm
But-
sorry.
I was
I
going to
thought you were
say,
trying to get us to.
Well, not yet.
Very good.
I just checking if anybody had
he
any.
just wanted to know if he had to do anything. When we're not here, when Travis is not here, Tuesday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern, he's on my channel as Game Master. I put the link in. Go follow. Am I on mute?
Nope. And if you
Okay.
guys do follow and join in with us, it's actually a great time. We love having you there because we use your input. And Elizabeth joins us for one game, John joins us for a game or two, and Andrea's there for all 3 of the games during the week. But we heavily rely on our audience to harangue, ridicule, and join in the idea pool.
Mm-hmm. Zazzle is now in the steamer trunk wardrobe. Cats
Okay.
need to stop.
We got one back. Let me play the This Week in History musics.
All
while we
right.
can. Here it goes.
This week in history.
I know Chris Hall just did a little chair dance to that. So, this week in history, if nobody has anything prepared, I do have a few notes here of stuff Andrea and I were listening to on the news earlier today. Oh, Kevin's back.
Kevin's back. Yes, he is. Kevin's back. Yeah.
There we go.
Here he goes. Let's take. Smoke it hard, smoke it.
I was gutted the other day, Elizabeth. Due to a scheduling conflict, I was unable to take up a gig that my friend contacted me about. I don't know if you've met him yet, and I think the rest of the guys from the show have. I've got a friend called Luke Lamont, who's a magician. And Luke messaged me the other day, and he was like, dude, you'd be perfect for this. How do you fancy a gig in London? It's on Halloween. I spoke to my boss, and we've got a kind of thing going on, but we're not one of those places that really does a lot with Halloween. We're a little quiet village pubs. Everybody wants to do the Halloween party thing, goes into town. So they went, yeah, fuck it. If there's an opportunity for you to earn some serious money, which it was, you can have the night off for it. Sadly, it didn't come through, but Luke knows a lot of guys in the entertainment industry, and there was a big Halloween party taking place in London, and they were going to pay our travel up there, put us up in the hotel, pay us good money for it, because they'd been let down at the last minute, and they needed 3 entertainers for a party. Specifically, they needed a magician, Luke. They wanted somebody who could do circus sideshow stuff, Frank Kirk, who does all the whole eating light bulbs, swinging bowling balls from the piercings in his nose and his ears and stuff, all that kind of thing. Sword swallows. And they wanted a guy to impersonate Lurch.
Well, that's perfect.
And Luke was like, this job is made for us, you know. They want a magician, me. Then they told me they wanted a circus performer, and I thought of Kirk, and they were like, and I don't suppose you know anyone who could be a passable Lurch. And he went, of course, Kev. But sadly, I don't think it's happening.
Why not?
Well, let's keep hoping for it. Keep hoping.
Yeah, and then we need a video of the 3 of you with them going, this is Luke Lamont and Quirky Kirk and Lurch, and you just go,
You rang.
There you go.
There you go.
And we're getting toasted on Talk of the Tavern.
Be awesome.
We're getting toasted on Talk of the Tavern.
That's great. Adam's Family.
I think that was Lurch, but drawing heavily from Marvin, the paranoid android from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy there.
Well, only the bad version.
There's a pain in all the diodes down my left side. Here I am, brain the size of a planet. What do? They leave me minding the car.
Okay.
Not that I'm obsessed with Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy at all.
Nah.
Okay, and now that John's back, we could talk about this
Yay.
week in history. Apparently, this week in history, today is one of the most famous days for where white men first started appropriating other people's cultures. It's Columbus Day in the United States.
Oh,
And I just want to point out,
Columbusing to you all.
it wasn't the British this time. It was the Italians and the Spanish that did it. So, way to fall behind, my British friend.
We were off being racially insensitive to the rest of the world.
You pretty much had the rest of the world conquered.
So
here. You're like
frantically scouring around for some small island we hadn't oppressed or pissed off by that point.
Overdrive. Been a while.
Yeah,
man.
but
It's a comment here. Overdrive says, reads title, define holistic. Are we talking about natural alternatives or mumbo jumbo good vibes that get tossed in there as well? Also, hello all. Overdrive, good to see you, man. Been a while.
Hey, man.
I assume, Kev, that he's been gone as long as you, so it's like you, Victoria, him, Toey, and Jonathan all off somewhere by yourselves when nobody was looking. And what the hell is
The
behind?
words obviously got round that finally I was coming out of my sort of semi-enforced retirement. I'm hosting a revival tonight.
It just goes to
Can
show
I
you,
get a
Kevin,
hell yeah?
you are the show. You are Talk of the Tavern. Without you, we're nothing, man.
It's far from the truth, but bless you for saying so.
I just want to point out that we're kind of, once again being held down by the British. Good job. Bring it back, man. Go through Columbus Day.
I'm just watching the video.
I know, I was watching that too. I was kind of fascinated by that. It's like a naked Bumble or something for a second there. I wasn't sure what that was.
It was. I think that might be the one that she did.
It is. This is her college project that we're seeing behind her. We also, what else did we have in the news today? I heard.
It is
Go ahead, Andrew.
Canadian Thanksgiving.
It is Canadian Thanksgiving. Do we want to talk about that? Does anybody Canadian? Hey, wait, they're like British Junior, right? Kevin, you speak with authority on this one then.
Okay, I'm confused by the entire concept of Canadian Thanksgiving since I can't imagine what Canadians have got to be thankful for.
Well, they're not British anymore.
That's true.
They have hockey.
Yeah.
I'm trying here.
Oh, Overdrive, to answer your question, we haven't actually talked about the topic yet, but when we get to it, it'll be both things. The actual natural alternatives that become medicine and they get appropriated, not culturally, but appropriated by big pharmaceutical, as well as the, here, put a magnetic copper bracelet on your wrist and you'll feel better.
Doesn't work.
Yeah, we'll talk about it all. I figured by the third hour, it's turned from the inappropriate hour to, oh shit, we should talk about this for a minute. Hour.
Well, we have our history hour right now.
I think it's going to be history a couple minutes. Since we have Kevin, we've kind of just went, let's hang out with Kevin since we haven't seen him for a while. And John is here also, but he's giving us the mime treatment. John, I just want to point out that it's not cool to culturally appropriate the French culture like that.
No, come on, you can't falsely accuse the poor man of appropriating the French culture. He hasn't surrendered anything all evening.
But he is wearing a black and white shirt.
And then we won a few fights.
He's cutting out for me. What about anybody else?
Occasionally I'm getting that, yeah.
What you say,
I hear.
Oh no, I said I fight.
Yeah, totally.
He said that. No,
Yeah,
no.
John, I got like 2-3 words and then nothing.
All right.
We're going to turn it into comedy like you're just messing with us. This way you don't seem like you have faulty equipment. You're just being clever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with it, bud.
Yeah. Towards.
Get like the first. You know what? You know that setting you turned on to automatically adjust your microphone? Go make sure that shit is turned off.
Turn it off.
Turn it off.
Because it might be automatically adjusting you to shut the hell up. We don't know.
Hey, Elizabeth.
He knows me all too well.
There you go. We're here.
Don't tell me what to do.
Sure. Rock and roll.
Kevin, you had her at 6'7". You didn't even have to go all the way to 6'8".
Kev, you had me at cunt.
Or by the cunt. It's hard.
Finally, this is the whole reason I've come back to Talk of the Tavern, isn't it? Because for about 7 weeks, no one has had authentic reason to use the word cunt frequently in conversation. I've resigned myself many years ago to the fact that the only reason you keep me around is that amusing foreign guy who uses that word we can't get away with so easily.
Then why do we keep Ed around? Is it because he uses a word that we can't use?
Hmm. I'm
Who
gonna
says
make
we
that
can't
your
use?
shirt, Cat.
So in that case, just like your insane guy, it would not only be blunt and to the point, but factual.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
let's find out. All right.
Overdrive has a good comment here, guys. I'll let us each take a whack at it here. Overdrive said, I find it rather amusing when the masses gripe about Columbus Day. Sure, he wasn't a pillar of humanity by today's metric, but certainly an important in the era of discovery. Are we to nitpick history for every injustice? How far back do we go? Should we be upset with Mongolia for Genghis Khan, the Greeks for Alexander the Great? Preaching to the choir, Joe Overdrive, but let's get some opinions on this. John, you want to start?
Well, for Columbus, I mean, you have to take everything in context. I mean, obviously, the Romans believed that it was okay to slaughter people's children so they didn't come up and oppose them later on. So,
Not a
I mean,
bad concept,
you can
really.
take,
If you're going to do war, that's kind of like going, let's just go all the way on this one.
of course. Uh, but I mean, metrics per the time, I mean, always are,
It's all about the money, even then.
yeah, probably, or power.
Hmm Elizabeth.
So,
History is filled with winners and losers. And sometimes there's a nation or a tribe that wins a while, and sometimes there's one that destroys. Sometimes Mother Nature does.
the fun part about history is going back and actually looking at if this would have happened, what could have happened, i.e., if Hitler didn't go to Russia, would we all be speaking German? Interesting things like that. Small decisions that changed, huge swaths of
Hmm
history.
Or here's swastikas of history. Overdrive, I do want to just remind you, hey, dude, it's us. We totally get it. And with me and my comments about Columbus Day, it's exactly that. Human beings are fucking scumbags that are out for profit at other people's expense quite often. Very few of us are humanitarian, and the ones that are, very few times do they reach a point of power. This is how our history is built with blood and sweat
Yep.
and tears, and not necessarily from hard work done by the people who are in charge.
Small children sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Overdrive's right as well about humanity does love to poke holes in pretty much anybody who's ever been famous historically, regardless of what they were from or what side of the fight they were on. Because we're far more fond of looking back and criticizing the actions of people who came before us than realizing that we're actually parroting the same dumb mistakes
Oh, yeah.
ourselves.
I mean,
But that's
Yeah.
history for you, as a habit of repeating itself. It's not a catchphrase for without reason,
well,
but I think recently it's been a bunch of people that just want to gripe to gripe. Let's
well,
tear down the statue of Columbus. Let's, why are you looking for things to be miserable about?
I couldn't agree with you more.
yeah.
God, there's enough bloody misery in the world as it is.
But
Sort your shit out, people. Stop being cunts.
was it 2 or 3 weeks ago, Elizabeth? We were talking about the one place Ed was on, so it must have been 2 weeks ago or more. We were talking about it was I think a cross monument that they're talking about tearing it down because it's no longer being maintained financially by the right people.
Right.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you remember
No.
this? No.
But people who, okay, all I know is I think there's two people. There's people who create, people who destroy.
Hmm
And everyone is very opinionated on freedoms and rights when it's supporting their side.
hmm
Supporting another side and get a little stiff. And I think that's the true testament of freedom.
You just
Or-
adopt the classic British point of view, which is to deny the existence of any point of view other than yours.
Well, and going back to history, right now, the United States is going through this huge swath of let's tear down anything that had to do with the Civil War. I'm sorry, the southern part of the Civil War. We're leaving up the northern heroes and statues, but we're tearing down the southern. And this is part of our history. It's no different from whitewashing the works of Mark Twain or removing, certain historical novels from our schools because they used the wrong word at some point in time.
Well, if you get rid of it, you never learn from it and do better.
Maybe
It's
that's
too
what people
stupid.
want.
Well, and that rot is just going to keep on crawling until it finds more stuff to corrupt. So,
Hmm.
I find that whole kind of thing, like the whole removal of famous books or editing them to remove certain words that are no longer PC, ridiculous. I can go to my local Waterstones bookshop 5 minutes from here and buy a copy of Mein Kampf tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.
Hard to get a copy of Anarchist
Like,
Cookbook anymore, though.
do you want one?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
but
Talk to me off air.
that's the interesting part of history is that's how you learn not to do those things is by learning by the turds that did them before you. So,
Not by hiding
you know,
them and destroying the fact
right.
that
You
we do
can
remember this.
identify the next Hitler by looking at what Hitler did and, you know, identifying him before he becomes that person
And then ignoring it
or
while
the
the
next
Serbs
one.
are killed.
Well,
So,
but hopefully we'll have some medication to take care of them.
Smooth.
very good.
Segway King.
I think what my understanding of history, and I'm not a great historian, I'm becoming better, and active, is you do have to live in the, and that's the best that, I mean, hopefully, optimistically, I tend to people for the best you can do at the time. You don't get to see 2 chapters ahead of you. You don't get to see that. You know, you have to use what's happened before us, kind of a guide and a hint to get there. But I think that we've lost that in regards to looking back to history, at least horrible time that America's were destroying.
Well, information comes so fast to people nowadays, they don't have time to look back on those things. Because I think so much is just coming to them at the moment sometimes. But
Well, that's
I
all
don't
they're
know
worried about is what's coming at this moment. When
of
that
course.
moment
Well,
passes 2 weeks from now, we forgot what the fuck went on this week.
well, it takes
I think
effort. They
I
don't.
think that as well leads to the fact that people so poorly misinterpret history now. Because everybody judges everything by the current set of standards now in the moment. It's got to be the latest
Right.
thing. It's now, it's fresh. This is what it is. And people forget when they look back at history, they'll look at the bare facts presented to them on the page if they're researching something, but they forget to put themselves in the context of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Good
That's
night,
right.
So
Victoria.
they judge the events they're reading about by as though it's happening now, as though we're talking about news in the paper last week, which is why people get their knickers in such a fucking twist about these subjects. It was hundreds of years ago. People who actually gave a fuck are dead. It's like you said earlier, stop finding shit to be miserable about from hundreds of years ago. There is a lot of hate and misery in the world already. Find something current and do something the fuck about that. Stop bitching about shit that's already happened.
I will
Don't
even
be
put
a
it in the,
cunt.
yeah, there
Thank
you
you.
go.
Kevin, say good night to Victoria,
I'll even
please.
put it in the
Oh, excuse me.
okay.
Good night, Victoria.
Thank you, sir. Go on, John.
Well, in the context of gaming, like here in the store, they're playing Dungeons and Dragons, and they get all upset because, well, there's slavery, or there's this, or there's that. And it's like, why is this guy throwing me in jail? I want, you don't have due process and stuff. It's a fantasy game, It's like they didn't have that back then. You tell the king, to blow himself, and he's going to have his guards throw you in the, or kill
Oh,
you. But
Overdrive,
anyways.
hold on 1 second. I was viewing it something that doesn't necessarily show that, I guess. I apologize for that if they moderated one of your comments. Give me a second. Let me see. Is anybody watching the actual Twitch stream that can see
Okay,
this?
I'm there. Bear with me for a second. I can
Make a
sort this.
judgment
I am.
call and either approve it or let them know why.
Oh yeah, it's all good. Yeah, it's just keywords that was flagging it.
Yeah, go ahead and approve it. Oh, good. There we go. Now I'm going to read this off. I just think that we as human beings can be altruistic to a fault, especially when it becomes detrimental to the whole. I'm sure the Bolsheviks forcing communists down the throats while murdering Christian Russians thought they were doing the right thing as well. Why won't you just submit? Can't you see we're doing what's best for you? As they shoot your neighbor. Yeah, well, that's history. That's not even history. That's happens now,
The,
today.
the
Go ahead.
Russian Bolsheviks are fucking crazy, man. They'll not only shoot your neighbor, they'll stab him, poison him, throw him in a freezing river, and the bastard still comes back.
Yeah.
That sounds like a hell of a zombie movie.
I show you how we make advisors in Soviet Russia.
Overdrive, thanks for pointing out that that didn't come through. I appreciate that. Sorry about that.
It moderates comments sometimes if it's got certain keywords its concern might be associated with talking about other bollocks than what you were saying. That's what
Well,
happened.
it could have also just been, is this hate speech because it's mentioned
Yeah,
Bolsheviks?
that's pretty much yes. It's Rami. Yeah, those keywords like that it'll flag sometimes. It's
He
nothing to
said
do with
cunt
us. It's
too
a
many times. That's what it was.
What's that, John?
He said cunt too many times.
sorry. What was that, John? Can you say that again?
Stupid cunt.
My work here is done. Mic drop. I'm out of here.
Well, not at the price of what a mic costs now. We're just going to set it gently down.
When did words hold so much power? I mean, the written word always held power, but when did when someone says, you're racist, or you're fill in the blank. So
I'll tell you when it gained power, when you could get it to people.
when you could get it to mean something.
Well,
You make money at it. When you can make money at it.
For example, I can call you a racist right now. You're 3,000 miles away. There's no consequence. It's not like you can slap me. When you go,
test her.
Yeah. Well, damn it, she's got my address as well. I'm gonna open my front door one morning to pick up the milk.
Do they still deliver milk to you?
They can do, yeah. I don't bother in the summer. Too many people around, they'll nick it. I'm quite close to the centre of town. You've seen where I live, so there's a lot of people passing. Yeah, they'll rob it off the doorstep, but in the winter it's all right. There's less people around and it's nice and nice cold.
Yeah, they do that with Netflix.
Do you buy all sorts? Do you guys not have milk delivery anymore?
No.
Really? Not nowhere.
You can get all of your groceries delivered from the grocery store.
Yeah, we've got that here. Yeah, we get that. Yeah, you don't have milkmen anymore.
I'm sure some regions somewhere.
Not everywhere.
Do,
not everywhere, but quite a few places. There's 2 or 3 on the island.
I think Towie still has milk delivered, don't you, Towie?
You can get all kinds of shit from a milkman. It's not just milk.
Yeah.
They do
Careful who you sleep.
milkshakes, bread, eggs. Depends on
Children.
which dairies.
Well, that one bar you can't use
maybe I suppose I don't know.
ice cream anymore. So. Now I'd want that delivered.
Breast milk ice cream. I'm sure.
I prefer a milk woman in that case instead of a milkman.
Excuse me, but it is disorganic.
That milkshake would bring all the boys to the yard.
What have you eaten in the last 28 days? Is this breast milk ice cream gluten free?
I'd give it a lick without.
Was the woman the breast milk was harvested from ethically treated?
Yeah, I blew on my hands and rubbed them together first. I love that we have people who can do the jokes that the rest of us can't.
We gel well as a team.
The bartender Christian, cinnamon 2x4. He did a trick. He had me hold a dollar bill. I looked at it. Yes, it's authentic. Handed it back. And he folded it in his left hand, and then he held his hands out, and it was floating between his hands. It was a cool trick. It was pretty cool. Yeah.
Nice.
And he said, I'm working on levitating people. And I said, we'll start with the small ones. We'll work your way up.
Yeah, go smaller than that. Start with the wallets.
But not their
It was
prison
cool.
wallet.
It was cool.
No.
I have a cat on my lap.
Yeah,
He's massaging my inner thigh.
Hmm.
I think he wants a little milk delivery.
Autumn has officially arrived in the UK. Fred has moved to the middle of the stairs.
Is that his place now?
That'll be for autumn, and then winter it'll be here in the lounge anytime he can get in here, and only ever leaving when I throw him out.
Who's Fred?
He's my cat,
Brother.
Freddy Krueger.
He's
My
the
wife
best cat.
because when he was a kitten, he had the most enormous paws, and everything grew into proportion as he got older. But he just had these most enormous saucer-like paws when he was a cat, and his claws came in really early as well. So he had this tiny, fluffy-looking kitten with these massively oversized claws. So my wife named him Freddy Krueger, and he's just been Fred ever since.
Another comment from Overdrive here. The word Bolsheviks is hate speech. Before I read the rest of the comment, I would assume it was a combination of the words murder and
It's
whatnot.
probably murder. It's
But-
going to be keywords like that, not Bolsheviks. Yeah.
together. But he goes on to say, what happened to the world where just saying one word is considered hate speech? Personally, I don't believe in hate speech. I believe in absolute free speech. The filtering or censoring of unpopular opinions is usually done by the masses or the individual. Repugnant ideas and speech are mostly and rightfully spurned by the people at large. I know it's not you guys censoring, so that was more of a general statement, not aimed at you. Yeah, we get it. We just want to make sure you understand that we think shit through too. And we're not about just shutting people down, even an opinion we don't agree with. We want to hear it because maybe there's
Oh
something we
God,
can learn
yeah,
from
we've
it.
always been like that. You don't
Maybe
get
we'll
good.
make fun of you after hours.
Yeah, well,
Oh, yeah.
or even during. It doesn't matter.
We won't. Yeah, we won't wait. We'll do it now.
Yeah.
No, it's important, and it's important. The thing I like, Kevin. I don't know if you know that I'll be leaving New York in a couple of weeks. Can I go home? Okay. The thing I like about New York made me get used to being uncomfortable. And that's important. I think that's important physically, spiritually, even with just opinion. You should be uncomfortable. You should talk with people that challenge your idea. And, it's okay to give a little and, oh, that's a good idea. Maybe I'll go down that road for a while. And that's what I love about this show is we get in situations where we're uncomfortable, but we're confident enough to where, we'll pay attention and listen. Drink some more.
Yeah.
This is why I surround myself with folks like you guys who have different experiences, different backgrounds, different religions, different political views, because it's such a wonderful basket of people who actually intelligently thought stuff through. And I do learn a lot. Pretty much every week I'm learning something from one of you. John, it's your turn. Teach me something.
John,
Well, let's
teach
see.
us, John.
Gravity and dark matter interaction.
Dark matter, they're questioning that if it even exists now.
Well, they've shown through time studies that the universe is expanding at different rates in different places.
Right.
Now. So there has to be a reason or a focus somewhere where dark matter and gravity are somehow slowing down that affecting time in those areas.
Right. No, that makes sense, but it doesn't have to be. And I'm not anti dark matter, but
why? It's not 10% dark matter.
it's but yeah.
Oh yeah. What about white matter? Oh, is it all dark?
White doesn't matter.
White matter too.
Elizabeth, did you just appropriate his matter?
Is that my white matter?
As a matter of fact, I did.
Oh.
Keep going, John. Sorry.
Yeah, go on, John.
Well, I don't know what tangent we went off to the whole thing about dark matter existing or not existing, I mean, that's always going to be debatable until you can actually quantitatively put it in a experiment and replicate it over and over and
Right.
over again.
Well, with
Any of those things with theory, obviously.
right, the stuff you're talking about, they have recently, as exploring exactly what you're talking about, basically went, oh, now here's some more math where it's the dark matter doesn't work. That theory
Right,
doesn't fit
because
anymore.
with our with the equation we worked on, because you have to go out to infinite distance, and we keep on coming up with either zero or infinity, and you can't have that as an outcome to an equation. So yeah, but you keep hammering at it until you figure out something. The
Right.
kids up at William and Mary are pretty brilliant. A
I
lot of
think it was a good
smart physicists up
placeholder
there.
for 20 years, but now it's time to realize, no, this has to be broken down differently. There's something else that we don't have access to in our knowledge banks.
Well, the subatomic is always trying to be equated to the macro,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't blend well. There's no unifying thing between the two. One works well in the subatomic quantums,
Mm-hmm.
and then on the macro scale, it doesn't work though. It always falls apart. So, someday somebody will figure it out. Hopefully. So.
Overdrive says, Travis turns to John, teach me something, which may or may not have translated to dance monkey dance. LOL, just kidding.
Indeed.
That's true. It may or may not have, or it might have been a little of both. It's hard to say.
We do that with Luke all the time. We go out drinking with Luke. He's a great person to take out with you. You just go, hey, performing monkey, do magic for these people. We once famously at a metal festival, allegedly but never actually confirmedly under the influence of an enormous amount of alcohol, spent an afternoon operating a venture that's been known in the annals of our friendship history for nearly a decade now as Magic for Beer, where essentially what we did was, I don't know if you've ever seen these at festivals, they sell these little temporary wheelbarrow things you can buy. It's just a ball wheel at the front and then essentially a canvas between two poles. You can buy them for about £5 for carting the shit around campsites. And we bought 2 of these, and they're quite wide when you stretch the canvas out. So we put Luke in one. And we took it in turns, wheeling him up and down the thoroughfares through all the campsites at this festival, randomly shouting at the top of our voices, magic for beer. And anyone who stopped us and inquired what's this all about, we said, well, if you've got beers on you or whatever for your stash and that, give us a can of beer and our performing monkey here will do a magic trick for you. And we spent about 4 hours wheeling Luke around performing magic for beer and came back with the other wheelbarrow loaded down with about 50 odd cans of assorted alcohol.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes. To magician.
Magic for beer.
I only know one magic trick. Do you like?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, actually, I know 2, but here's one. Ladies and gentlemen, I will make this drink disappear.
Wait till she makes it real.
Don't ruin it. Don't ruin
You don't turn it.
That's amazing.
It's crazy.
Bravo.
That's on the internet forever.
Encore. I demand an encore.
What's the second trick?
Deal. The second trick, I'll get my hat. I'll pull a pickle from my hat, and I'll pantomime it to children on the train when they look at me, because there's always one that, oh, I love your top hat, but they won't say anything. And then I'll do this, pull the pickle out, and they think it's a hoot.
I thought it was making the beer reappear an hour later.
You want it to reappear? Just a second.
Now Overdrive says, throw that organ grinder back at Travis, John. JK. Does anybody else think J.K. Rowling every time they see J.K. now? Just me.
No, it depends. If you say J.K. Rowling, I do. If you say J.K., I think J.K. from Jamiroquai.
From what?
Jamiroquai.
What is that?
90s pop act.
It's a band.
Oh,
Yeah. Funky. I like it.
He was kind of going down the walkway street or skidding with a car or something.
He's famously a massive petrol head. He's been on Top Gear a few times in the old days when it was still Jeremy Clarkson et al. Presenting it. He owns quite a few Ferraris and stuff.
Good deal. Good deal.
Get him a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Did you get my video?
The one.
No, I get it. Who are you talking to? There's lots of us.
All y'all.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I watched
I
it
I
put
this
see
on
the
the
morning.
pickles
private.
behind you.
Yeah. I got something from you earlier today or yesterday.
No,
But
no.
I
put it on,
haven't had a chance to watch it yet because I've been working like a pig. So
Where'd
I
you
put
put it?
a private back of the tavern. I shared it. Maybe it's still uploading.
Oh, yeah, we haven't got that yet.
Oh,
You know what?
I love the little phrases that you get when you log into Discord.
yeah.
The one I just had was now with scratch and sniff.
No.
Discord won't let you post videos if they're over so many megabytes. I just
8.
figured that out today. 8?
Yeah, it's like a teeny.
Wow, that's
Are you still on Messenger?
I am.
I've got a new phone.
Oh,
Oh.
if you're rolling in a dough, you
Yeah,
can afford that 4-year-old phone now.
No, I got my wife's old one.
See? What'd I tell you?
It works well. She's got a contract. I don't. I'm still pay as you go. I'm Captain Old School. But she's got a new upgrade recently. You know, she's one of those horrendous people who pays her bills on time and shit like that.
Mm.
They rang her up and went, well, currently it costs you 170 odd quid or whatever it is to buy yourself out of the remaining 14 months of your contract, but we'll do you a deal and do you a new phone for 30 quid. So she had a new one, and which is good because my old one was dying, which is a pain in the arse because now I'm one of those wankers who uses his phone all the time. I've just got to check my email. Excuse me a moment, I'm on the bus, but I'm going to log into Inward Pay and pay last night's band. You know, I've become that twat.
So you could pop into Discord and join the show anywhere.
In theory, now, yeah. I haven't tested the battery life on it. It's running stuff like that when I'm mobile and using, 4G rather than Wi-Fi signal. I'll give it a shot one day. When maybe I'll give you a bell one day or something, and we'll see how well it works.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, talk of the tavern.
Overdrive.
Then I could join you. I could join you for the 45 minutes I've got free every day, where we'll only be interrupted every 3 minutes by some cunt knocking on my office door asking me to change, or can you just do this, or can I have that, or can you come and authorize this? Yes, I know it's the only 45 minutes of the day where you get away from us pricks, but we just thought we'd pop our head round the door every 3 minutes because you miss us so much. If any of my staff are watching, I love you. You're cunts.
Okay.
There you go. Glad I came now. I enjoyed the venting. Thank you.
Can't you just hang a big nope sign on the door?
Sock. Just a sock.
Just hook a battery up to it so when they touch it, zzz.
Sarah, who came on Christmas
Oh, yeah.
Day, tattooed Sarah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
she has an amazing technique. She genuinely does this because one of her co-workers told me it's true. When she's on her break, she turns the lights off in her office and lays down on the floor. And if anyone opens the door, she screams loudly until they shut the door. Apparently,
I can
she's only
see
got
that.
to do it to someone a couple of times, and they all learn. And now if the lights go off in her office, just no one bothers her.
I said it's amazing. I have learned tonight. You can't I'm gonna do that.
Awesome.
You might make someone shit their pants if you actually. Brilliant.
Okay,
And-
so
and- Okay.
sorry, Overdrive says, "Dear God, fine, I'll type it out next time." Just kidding. LOL. And then he also says, "There's nothing wrong with a 4-year-old phone, so as long as it still functions. I'm the idiot that buys the newest and disables 75% of the functions on it. See, I don't buy the newest. I buy like the second to newest, because instead of $700, it's now $300.
I'm with him there, though. It's literally the first thing
I
I
do
do
too.
every time I get a new handset is I sit down obsessively for at least an hour. I
Yeah.
go through every fucking app, every function. I delete all the shit I know I'm never going to use. I close off all the privileges.
And this phone right here has some
Um,
apps I can't delete. You cannot delete and remove
Yeah,
Facebook from your phone.
Yeah. You
Yes,
can't delete
Andrea?
Facebook.
Yes, Andrea?
that's me on her
That-
screen,
that
and
is
that's when I did my anti-gamer funk stuff.
Yes, you
Which
did.
now
And
is offensive and can't be done.
are
Fuckers,
you
because I would
kidding
go
me?
and
Yes, I
Is
am.
it
yeah,
true?
somebody got really offended and started yelling at me.
Yeah, the
Whatever.
stinky son of a bitch. That's what
Yeah. Well, see, and when I
Yes,
went
she
in
is.
there, they're like, "Well, I'm a gamer too, and I'm
It
offended."
was a wait. What?
Yeah.
Tell that it was.
Yes.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Uh,
Mm.
When I did that costume, I put Febreze in little spray bottles, had Tic Tacs, and Listerine strips.
oh, the room smells like
They,
Doritos. Awful.
but when I went in there, the guys, they loved it.
They
They would
loved
buy
it.
it for their friends, and there was deodorant and stuff, and they thought it was great. And they would buy each other Tic Tacs and stuff.
Oh, brilliant.
It was great.
See, you are an artist, Andrea. You are beyond the line of
I
simplicity.
know. I'm fucking awesome, God damn it. Fuck you.
Yeah, I'll drink to that.
Oh, by the way, there's also DirecTV on my phone and won't let me remove that either. And I'm like, I'm not getting satellite
I just
TV on
disable
my
it.
phone. I disabled it too. It's like, you want to update it? I'm like, no, I told you yesterday. No, stop bothering me.
Well, what it is if you already have an account with any of the cable things or anything, it automatically goes to your phone at no cost to you.
I was
Speaking
thinking-
of,
I'm
speaking of, if you're an Amazon Prime member, you can subscribe to this channel at no cost to you. Go ahead, Elizabeth.
I was gonna say, I was kind of getting to know you here. When I saw that costume, I thought, finally, some class joined. Because I'm sorry, I come from an old school family. I was raised with old school values. You have this cute woman in this really nice outfit, like well done, providing things that you would need, like smell, mouth, or because people are up all night gaming. They're gonna have fun. And I just thought it was brilliant. And I remember looking like, no cigarette. But fabulous. Well done. And that chick is a mean old fuck. She's a crashy old bitch. Shut the fuck up. Honestly. Let people have fun. You don't get to pick and choose at a con. I mean, unless it's violent or you're going to fuck people up. Things like this, let them go.
I'm sorry, but humor is offensive.
Yeah, isn't it great?
Don't
I'm
worry,
gonna
John.
laugh
Maybe one day
anymore.
you'll run a con and you'll understand.
No.
When you get enough
There's
people.
a,
Till then, don't call
there's
it
a
a
reason
con.
why they call it the con.
Yeah.
It's a big con where you go out there.
Well, the one that John runs, it has 3,000 people, but that's not anyway.
And somebody said, you shouldn't call it a convention.
Correct.
Why?
Whatever. Stupid
A
people.
little upset because we had people at a library.
Oh, last thing you want in the library, people.
People, right?
Next thing you know, they're going to start reading, learning.
And I
Getting
really
curious.
appreciate that MarsCon came out and took a look at the convention. I mean,
Mhm.
He gave us a great compliment. He said it was well thought out and there was a lot of things to do. And
Really, that's
I
cool.
thought that was great.
Well, because he knows what it takes to run something.
Right.
So, yeah.
Apparently the other person does too. They just don't feel like, I don't know. I don't know what the hell that feeling was that they had. Jealousy is all I got.
I was diplomatic. I said, we'll take it under consideration and
I'll bring it up to the board.
bring it up to the board.
And we can all laugh and laugh and laugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you know what?
It'd be funny if we took it up with the Borg, though. That would be
The Borg.
I'm sorry, I was raised, if you're not paid for the party, shut the fuck up and behave yourself.
Yeah.
They're not paying for it, what does their opinion have?
Yeah.
Again, go to a place to have fun, not to be miserable. I don't get it.
What? What a hell of a concept there.
Yeah.
Here we go.
It's
It
Wait,
free.
helps
what a
this
waste of
damn
energy.
movie, but I
I'm
wanna-
living proof you can sit at home and be miserable.
Here's another great comment by Overdrive. Facebook and their ilk have always creeped me out from the start. That's why I never made an account. Call me paranoid, and I'm sure you will. I'm looking at you, Liz, with your comment a moment ago. But I just get this weird vibe that possibly in the future there'll be an unapologetic. Hold on, gotta scroll. Unapologetic arm of civilian surveillance if they aren't already now. Not that Liz mentioned being paranoid, just making fun of someone. LOL. No, it's they're already doing it, Overdrive. There's already issues with this. There's a reason Facebook is backpedaling like a motherfucker, going, "We're sorry we shared too much with everyone else about your shit, and we just want you to come back." It's happening. It's happening, dude. You're not wrong. Thoughts on
Don't
that,
even
guy?
need they don't even need to watch you directly through a social media account. Data mining these days can pretty much paint a horrendously accurate picture of exactly how you live your life, where you go, what you do on a daily basis, to the point where the information's so accurate a stalker could follow you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's better than I forget.
We live in a digital world. Even if you don't use digital yourself very much, the things you do, transactions in shops, buying petrol for your car, all these kinds of things, they are recorded digitally. You leave a footprint. If they can
Yep.
work out which sale is you, they can track it. Go scare yourself if you've never looked into it. Just research the phrase data mining. That alone, you don't need a social media account. You don't need to be posting somewhere you're doing so someone can read it. They can find that shit whether you want.
And it's much more accurate than a horoscope to predict what you'll do next. And by
It's
the
a
way,
digital world,
we're
and I'm a
humans,
digital
we're
girl.
creatures of habit without realizing it. Unless you force yourself not to, you follow patterns. You engage in repetitive behavior.
and by the way,
You go to that coffee shop at 10 o'clock on a Tuesday morning because it's convenient, because then you go to the pet store afterwards. Things like mundane
wish we
shit
had
that
a
doesn't even register in your brain leads you to repeat patterns. And
Well, that's
people who are
why-
experts in interpreting data can recognize those patterns.
Well, look at
Mhm.
music. 95% of the popular music right now is written by two people.
Yeah.
And it's specifically for that is because people recognize the beat, the tone, and they want it to,
There is a wonderful video on YouTube of a bunch of New Zealand comedians called Axis of Awesome
yeah,
performing what they call the four chord song,
yeah,
which is a perfect example of
it
that.
is. And but it is scary that two people write most of the music.
Yeah.
It's popular.
see, there is
And engineers, they want to compress everything now.
What we need to do is, we're wasting all our time engaging in these fruitless conversations. We need to be directing all of our energy, finding those two people, kicking their ass.
Thanks for baby.
I feel you there. It's horrendous. But if that had never been invented, some crazy mashup guy on YouTube would never have invented Psychosocial Baby, which is that tune mixed with Psychosocial by Slipknot.
Because you mix it doesn't make it.
Life's a question of balances, I think.
Overdrive says, right, John, and I'm aware of that as well. But there are positive aspects of data mining. For example, I received coupons for BJ's, which is a large box store.
Not blowjobs.
I know, damn shame.
God,
But coupons for BJ's. Wow, and that shows on Elizabeth's
so
video.
bad that my
being
head
reacted to.
snapped up like a fucking meerkat.
There's a woman
Coupons for
behind
BJ's?
Elizabeth shoving food in, a hot dog in her wiener. Anyhow,
And I spit it out
but all
because
the
it's so dry.
all the
Yeah, you did.
coupons are for things that I have bought previously on a regular basis. So it actually works for me in that, like cooking oil and the lunch meat I buy and that sort of thing. And I'm like, well, thank God they know what I'm buying, so I'm not getting
Assless chaps.
assless chaps or,
Lotion in a basket.
baby formula.
Well, I mean, look at Twitch itself. When the Amazon ad that they're showing you shows stuff that you're supposed to buy. Even though you didn't buy it at Amazon, they probably saw that you looked at it on eBay or some other place.
I have decided, by the way, with Twitch, I'm going to lie when they ask me what age group I'm in, because now I'm getting all these like cancer medication commercials. I'm like, where's the stupid ass movie commercials that I love? I
Don't
don't.
tell them you're a 14-year-old girl.
That way I get content
Not
that I
again.
enjoy.
Not again. Not
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 again.
again.
It's true. I bought tickets to a Rangers game here in New York. I'm going to do a few things I put off because they're too expensive. And I'm already getting ads for Rangers
Nice.
within an hour.
Like Smokey Bear.
Not that kind of ranger.
He's a
I
ranger.
sadly only get AARP ads. So
I get that shit in the mail. God.
well, throw it away.
I got the cemetery ad that I could get my reserve my plot now.
Well, there you go.
Is it an evil plot?
Mm.
Well, my cat certainly likes.
Hmm.
Well, and that's back to the whole Facebook thing too. We're going to post a thing about one of our stories on Facebook that we were doing. And it's basically about killing politicians. And I got a message saying we took this down for this reason. I said it's a story. I'm not really going to go out and kill one of them today.
It's a story.
Not today.
Just it's only a dress rehearsal.
More of a suggestion than a agenda.
Yeah, it's a teaching moment. That's what we call it.
It's just a teaching moment.
Okay, here we go. Overdrive says, I doubt it'll ever happen because there's too much money to be made and it would lessen their control, but I believe there should be a referendum or a bill or whatever in whatever nation you reside in to remove these data brokers, shut down their operations, and make it expressly illegal to dabble in that trade, lest you be held accountable to harsh penalties.
Well, unfortunately, you're asking a politician to do that.
Not gonna happen.
So,
Not when
Data
they're making
mining
money
companies
off of it.
exist because they have customers.
Yeah.
And those customers are the people who will decide what happens to data mining companies, and they are not the people who represent us.
Do we have people representing us? I mean, really?
They like to
Depends
tell
on
us
what
that, but no.
Depends on how much you believe in your politicians.
I think there are moments
I agree. Moments.
when
I
it
can go with
serves
moments.
their interests.
Mhm.
Our interest and their interest
Or it
collide.
doesn't
there's
conflict
something-
with theirs. So
Yeah.
they'll be like, okay,
Yeah.
we'll give them that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They can
No,
have their
normally because they're giving it to you with this hand, while this hand is dipping into your wallet.
right.
First date.
Look at the legalization of marijuana products.
Welcome to Queens.
You know what? We have 5 minutes till the third hour. Does anybody need to take a break?
I could do with making coffee.
Go do that real quick. I'm going to remind everybody that you can jump on Discord and
Yes,
have
soda.
discourse with us. What's that, John?
I'm going to go get a soda.
Okay.
Andrea. I'm sorry. Oh, my turn. Sorry, Travis.
Okay. Yeah, I'll make this quick. You can sign up for the newsletter. I don't send it out more than once a week, generally less. And don't forget to keep the notifications turned on so you know when to join us. You can donate money, you can tip the tavern, you can throw bits, you can subscribe. That all financially supports us, as well as buying merchandise, supporting us on Patreon, or even subscribing, which you could do free with your Amazon account if you have it. And when we're not around, you can download us and or listen live streaming on Google Play, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Stitcher, YouTube, and more. Go, Elizabeth. What you got?
Have you heard anything about David? Any updates?
About what?
David?
No, I know he broke both of his legs, but he seems to be doing better. He was on the news and in the newspaper.
Okay.
I used to keep in contact with him on Facebook, but I'm not on Facebook anymore.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, there he is behind you. Yeah, there we go. It's see, Overdrive, Andrew and I quit Facebook also, but they don't let you delete your account. You can only disable it. Hmm?
You can. There's ways, I'm sure.
Yeah, you post
But I
enough
want to
offensive
keep
stuff, they
Messenger.
block you.
Yeah. You have been
Ladies and
deleted.
gentlemen, start your engine.
Mhm.
Challenge accepted.
But we quit it not so much because of the invasion of privacy and whatnot, as much as the huge
What
avalanche of shit that comes with Facebook.
whiny bullshit everywhere. Shut the fuck up. Facebook is a place for cat videos and happy shit, not political
Well,
shit.
it's for
We
whatever
don't
you
care.
want, but it'd be different if, I don't know, if people knew how to have a conversation and a discussion and a debate
Instead
as
of being
opposed to
assholes.
angry attacks and knee-jerk reactions of defensiveness.
What does that supposed to be?
Not enough cat videos. Shush.
I agree. Here, more cat videos.
Mhm.
Like a pussy.
Yeah, that doesn't look like coffee. Overdrive, you have a great night. Thanks for dropping in. Thanks for all the comments, man. Appreciate it. So make sure you say hello again. We're on almost every day now.
Bye.
So we will catch you again soon. And our one viewer is leaving. I know. Good times.
That's sad.
No, we still have others. We
We have
still.
like
This
50.
this guy was my hero at MarsCon. Can't quite see it. This is 2012.
Uh-huh.
Uh, On his back are two plastic enormous tubs. Okay, I think maybe you can see him. Okay, and in his hand, there's hoses connected to him, and in each hand is a pourer, like a little squirter. And he was running around filling people. He's my hero.
I probably know who that is, but the video's kind of fuzzy. I can't
Well,
see
yeah,
it.
that's probably for the best, don't you think?
Probably. Just because it's on, yeah, that.
But whoever you are,
You're
you're my
awesome.
hero. You're
Mm.
awesome. People that run around and just spread joy and cookie fairies. That's lovely. That's lovely. More of that, please.
Mm-hmm.
Is your
What
coffee?
kind of sandwich?
Yeah.
What kind of sandwich?
Lemon curd.
Oh, you don't fuck around.
There we go. Let me play the intro for the third hour and get that out of the way. Time for the roll call for our late night, inappropriate, slightly intoxicated, and very naughty music hour. This is where the faint of heart swoon, parents put children to bed, and things heat up and get steamy. So pour another drink and strap yourself in. It's gonna be a bumpy ride. There we go. So, did we not want to actually, touch on the topic at all tonight?
I think we were starting to.
We started to. We touched it, I guess. Want to touch it some more?
Inappropriately? Mm-hmm.
I'll touch it.
I'm hungry. I wonder if Wawa has lemon curd sandwiches. They got bitchin' sauce now.
Is that what it's called? Bitchin' sauce?
They actually have bitchin' sauce. That's what it's called at Wawa.
So,
That's
what is
funny.
that?
It's an almond kind of dip stuff. For crisps.
Is it bitchin'?
It's a little mild for me, but as it were.
Doesn't have that sharp, irritating kind of sharp, bitch.
No.
It's bitching, not nagging.
Put your thumb over the end and it could just be bitch sauce, but as it
That's
were.
probably the poorest selling beer you'll ever find. Hagen Ale.
I thought you were saying bitch sauce would be the worst selling beer.
Oh.
That would
I don't
be.
know.
I think that'd be a vodka, a low-end vodka.
Peach sauce would sell quite well. There'd be quite a few people out there. Like, fuck it, I'm going to give it a go.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I do have to say that I have some regret. I am not able to travel up to northern New York, try out the pizza. I just can't squeeze it in my budget.
Mhm.
I'm gonna make one at home. Do a video. There's a place, Kevin. It's way up north and to the west, so it's like right by close to Niagara Falls. And they make it's a pizza place, a couple locations, and they make pizza and they put pickles on top of it.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know if they're I don't know if they're sweet and sour or kosher or
Hmm.
but I know cheddar cheese and pickles are really good.
Mm.
Right.
I know all sorts of cheeses. I don't know about melted, but I'm willing to give it a shot.
We'll have to go up there.
Cheese, beef, and pickle. It's
Ooh,
the holy triumvirate.
yeah.
Try it.
I tried to get one person. I thought she was very, adventurous with food like I am, but she said, okay, that's disappointing.
And you can't have them ship it to you because it never makes it.
Also,
I can't imagine what condition it would be in by the time I got it.
Liquid nitrogen and frick it. I don't know.
I ordered my parents chocolate to Amazon, and it had a guarantee of not melting. And I needed something for Mother's Day, and I got chocolate. And the chocolate was good, but what both of my parents went on and on about was packaging. They actually had like cold packets in there underneath the chocolate and wrapped it up. And I mean, it was serious.
Well, so my mom tells me that she likes those Sherry's berries, those chocolate things, and they charged me $20 for shipping. Then she told me that they're only like a block away from where she lives. And I said,
Wow.
what a racket. She goes, I could have just went down there and got them.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for telling me after.
It's funny.
You'll like this, Kev. So I got my father a very good bottle of Chateau for Father's Day. And unfortunately, he's not able to drink it. And the last time I was there, I remember telling him that no one else would drink this wine. I would not reveal how much I spent. However, it would take someone with great appreciation. And I turned to I told my mother later or the next day, I said, no one is to drink this one. I said, however, if you feel so inclined, one day you can rip it open and drain it all yourself, that's fine. I will be back to drink this bottle.
you should invite Ed over. He appreciates wine.
Well, actually, my father said he wants to sit there and have me drink it with him.
That's even better.
Well, he won't be able to drink any of it. He'll watch me.
The season will be upon me soon. I've got my eyes watching the emails because I know that time of year is coming again because menu changes will be coming up soon.
Oh, the wine for
And then it comes staff wine season. Yes, I've got all these ends of bins that we can't sell to the public anymore because there's no buttons on the till for them. So our companies sell them at the price to the staff. But great thing is, not only are they half price, we can then still use our 33% staff discount.
Nice.
And that's when Kevin will be on.
Or I get drunk for several weeks on rather nice wine.
Cheers.
It's hard for an Englishman to casually drink, mainly because it makes us look vaguely French.
It's
So the pint glass is an Englishman's friend. Not only does it contain beer, but it serves as a functional bar weapon afterwards.
So, do any of you use any holistic medicine techniques? Whether it means all natural or whether it means. Yes,
Mhm.
John?
Well, here we have the health food store at the end, and we have a lady that sells the essential oils and those types of things. So she's usually, sometimes I feel like I'm a guinea pig for stuff.
And,
Like,
and
I told her I have skin cancer on the side. I'm going to go to the doctor to see it. And she gives me frankincense, and she goes, "Well, if you put this on there, it'll disappear." I said, "Well, at least it smells good," but didn't make anything disappear.
Andrea gave me lavender oil the other day when I had been outside in the yard working and I got chewed up. And the lavender oil, it totally made everything stop itching.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that works well. I put it with a petroleum base, and it tends to get rid of the itchiness and stuff. So
I
some of the
make a
stuff
You
bug
does
can,
work
spray.
pretty
Yeah.
well.
you can use lavender oil on a product as well.
Yes.
Speaking as a chef, and it takes a lot of the sting out of it.
On what?
When you burn yourself,
Oh,
Now the other thing that they sell people is the foot detox stuff.
The little pad things.
Well, you put your foot in the thing, and the water changes color and stuff. And I said it's
Oh.
going to do that anyway. But they have people that believing that it removes toxins from their bodies, but
Well,
I've
and
my
a
foot.
lot of time it's a mind over matter too.
it is. And
Placebos
as long as it
work.
and they know that works. So
Hmm.
as long as the person feels better, I could really care less if
Yeah.
if it's a placebo or not. Now, I think they should charge them a bit different for it, but
Mm-hmm.
Well,
It's
you know the saying, you pay for what you, or it, yeah, you pay for what you get.
that too.
They
What gets
charge
killed.
more, so people think it's better.
of course.
It's a whole psychological marketing thing.
So how do we feel about when pharmaceutical companies go, oh shit, no, that does work. Hold on a second while we purchase it, package it, put it through
I
the
think it's
FDA, and then charge you 10
fucked
times the
up.
price.
Well, it's something like essential for like cancer meds or something where people need it to actually live, and then they're charging things they can't afford and they die. That's not right.
Well, I think it's eventually. I mean, society's moving towards. And again, I have a libertarian bent, but we also have consumer advocacy things, and eventually it's going to be where the government's going to step in and say, look, this is what your R&D cost you, this is what this costs you, you can't charge this much more. If it's a medication, like you said, it's going to keep somebody alive.
Mhm.
Well,
um,
I knew somebody who had gout, and he was paying, I don't know, $1 a pill, $3 a pill. And it had to go through a certain amount of time at that price, and then the company took it off the market,
right.
repackaged it, changed it slightly, put it back out $75 a single pill. And this was
Mhm.
Well,
something this
and
guy
that
would take it, and an hour later he's like, "Oh God, I feel so much better. I can function. I can live."
right,
Mhm.
but that's where consumer affairs and stuff like that can look at things like that and try to put a stop to it. I think we should
But
also open up the market for international, as long as it's well vetted. You know,
Hmm.
for us to be able to buy our drugs from anywhere,
then
as
again, how
long as
many
it's
people
not
have to
crap.
die before it's fixed? That's the problem.
Well,
Or suffer.
Just
a lot of people have to die
yeah.
for having to.
Well, I have a customer that has an immune problem, and it costs him $30,000 a month for his medication
holy shit.
because that's what they charge. Well, I mean, he's got insurance, so he's not paying that, but that's what he would have to pay.
Hmm.
It's because there's not that many people that have it. So
Yeah.
The product or the condition?
the condition.
Okay.
So
Well,
so
So they haven't found a way to manufacture it in bulk at a lower cost. That's all.
well, they have to
Still.
recoup their research and development to develop
Hmm.
that particular thing, and that's baked into the eventual cost.
Hmm.
And a lot of the pharmaceuticals, they don't ever, even though they paid back or made a certain percentage or a profit off of it, which I'm not opposed to them making a profit, but it never seems to go down is the thing. So
I knew a girl like that. She charged more than it was worth too. But family's family, so you support them.
that's all depending on how good it was or how much you paid. I don't know.
I use arnica gel a lot.
What is that?
It's an herb, and yeah, it's in a gel form. Take it orally.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the FDA has completely done the testing on it, or last I saw. But it's most effective when you rub it on. It helps with bruising, and it's an anti-inflammatory. I drink turmeric.
Well, and when does something go from being natural, like aspirin, to becoming regulated on these things? Because, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, obviously it's effective.
Wouldn't it be a better society, though, if we charge reasonable prices for these things? You know, not when big.
See, I'm going to play devil's advocate here, just because this idea has been bouncing around in my head for a couple of minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I agree ethically that charging stupid amounts of money for these drugs is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But do we really want lots more people living a lot longer?
You missed that episode.
And I don't just mean that because I'm a miserable bastard. But
Yeah, I get it.
the world's population is already reaching critical in terms of consumption versus production. The more we prolong human life years beyond where we were capable before, the more a strain on our society to the point where potentially you could see a massive collapse and genuine famine across the world.
We did a whole episode
Just
on
to be
this.
really bright about the whole subject.
On Andrea's channel, we did, the science of living longer. And it kept coming back to that. Are we ready to be a society that can live 120
I don't want
years?
I think I want to.
If we had the infrastructure in place
Mm-hmm.
to support a massive sociological move like that, then yeah, I'd be all in favour of it. But I think if we tried it now, we'd essentially just be accelerating our death warrant.
Well, and if you start planning on space exploration and colonization, that's where that's going to
Yeah, absolutely.
But everybody wants their pet project at NASA, so no, we can't go to Mars because it went from let's just go there to let's build a space station, that we're going to build the ship that's going to go to Mars out in space, and it's because everybody wants to try something. When we could have already been to Mars with the technology we already have. I mean, quite simply. But
Well, they do say the birth rate is down in the world.
Well, the acceleration, but we still have so many people. Yeah.
Oh, don't worry. There's too many of us. Nature will just wipe us out.
I think we're headed that way.
That's what you can do.
This is why for several years now I've been adopting a self-preservation society, trying to slowly kill myself off. Nature gets to me.
One for the team.
I'll drink for that, or I mean with that, up to that. So has anybody, this is not on topic, but they're talking about building the elevator to space. Everybody familiar with this concept? It's this big sci-fi concept. Okay. Elizabeth, Andrea, you know what I'm talking about?
No, but I can assume from the word.
So essentially, here's a space station, and then linked to Earth, an elevator that goes all the way up to the space station. Now, my question
Planes are going to run into that shit.
Well, not just planes. Planes I'm less worried about as much as like a hurricane. Where are they going to put this damn thing that we don't have weather conditions that's going to tear it apart at some point?
Well, one, obviously, a hurricane, it's going to be less susceptible to hurricanes and stuff, just because of its size, its mass. You're not going to be I mean, you like graphene and stuff like that, but that the materials that we're going to use for it are quite strong. So,
Kev, what were we gonna say?
I think they should build it in southeast England.
Pretty tame
You'd
weather.
have no problem whatsoever. No weather, just drizzle. Just a mild drizzle for 361 days a year and an occasional glimpse of sun.
Obviously, we want it on the equator, generally speaking.
Yeah.
You could put it in the Sahara where there is you can't move weather patterns far enough in there. That's why it's a desert.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't have to worry about that particular issue then, if that was the concern. Because the hurricane's never going to get there.
Well, not just hurricanes, but if you have a sandstorm kick up and you have 70-mile-an-hour winds.
I don't think it would be strong enough to bother the tether.
Okay.
We've got to bear in mind, if they ever build a space elevator, it's not going to be like shooting yourself up a rickety old drain pipe.
Might be.
You never know.
I just picture like the tubes at the bank.
The old vacuum tube delivery systems.
Oh Lord, there. So obviously Elon Musk is trying out the Hyperloop here. Now they're talking about funding it in Spain. It's the greatest boondoggle down in Los Angeles. I mean, they couldn't even pour concrete properly.
Was this a Musk project you're talking about?
It is the Hyperloop. So
it's not working out?
Oh no, it's not.
Oh.
It is horrible.
Because I
you
know
go down there, you look at all the rust and stuff like that that's in the Hyperloop.
That's something else I'm worried about. Even if this works for the first 30 years, what's it like after 50 years? Are we going to have we don't have the money to maintain our damn bridges going over rivers. Are we going to have the money to maintain a space elevator?
Well, a space elevator hopefully commercially would have enough resources that you'd want to continue to maintain the maintenance on it a little bit. Hopefully, if we're putting enough stuff through it, it'll pay for itself. And who's going to own it? That's the key thing. So
yeah.
But with the Hyperloop, I mean, there's so many odd things that can happen. Some idiot out there with a gun decides to shoot it. They're not making it to where it's a cascading vacuum that goes through it. They're trying to do one giant vacuum in the thing. It doesn't work well that way. I'm not happy that he decides to use all the students' technology that's part of basically they have to sign everything over to him, all their research. He benefits greatly from that. So, I don't know.
You should at least
not that I give him credit for getting people interested in going back into space. But I also look at him as being the new modern technology Barnum and Bailey, quite honestly.
I could see that.
I do see him as that type of person. He's just doing high-tech stuff to get people.
Just less elephants.
There you go. He can make money disappear for you, though.
Not me, because I ain't going.
Yeah.
So how about catching asteroids from space and using those as resources?
We have enough resources. Sometimes I think we try to be too clever to do things when we have the resources and easier ways to do those things. I'd rather see them capture asteroids and make sure that they don't hit us. And turn them into usable things before they hit our planet. So that would be a lot better thing.
I think it would go hand in hand.
It could, right.
It would be sensible to have that technology in place, because last time we were only saved by Bruce Willis and a bunch of drunks. So.
Ben Affleck.
Yeah, but he died at the end, so that was a happy ending.
Kevin, did you see what Elizabeth was showing you there?
What was it?
You want to hold that up again, Elizabeth?
Oh, it's my incense.
Oh, no, I thought you had a glass of wine.
Oh, that was in the video behind me.
Yeah.
Oh.
Our other glass disappeared. It was a magic trick.
Damn it.
That's not it.
I was watching the video. I'm sorry. Okay, I thought that was
You can't. Somebody.
Do you carry aged rum at your bar, Kevin?
Sorry?
Do you have aged rum out there?
Yes.
We were talking about that last week.
I never knew it existed, and I've never tried it. But apparently Chris is going to bring some for Thanksgiving.
Yes, Chris.
We have a newish, about 5 years old now. There's a new little distillery on the island that bought an old pub, and they still run it as a pub. But what we used to be the restaurant and guest room areas, they've now turned into the distillery area.
Mm-hmm.
And they started off famously with really well-known gin, but they've got into making a 65 proof dark rum.
Oh.
At the moment, and it's gorgeous, but it's an
Oh,
absolute
imagine.
killer. You've got to watch yourself with it.
A rum you can sip. That's an incredible concept to me. And Elizabeth, when that was playing, it looked like your hand was holding the glass up to the camera, and you just had the background there.
That's fine.
Psych.
Hmm.
Oh, I had this year's butternut. Yummy. It's a Chardonnay. It's oaky. It's delightful. You can drink it without any chill. Open the bottle and drink. It's that good. Went up a few dollars.
Now that would be the good thing, is get the pharmaceutical companies and the beer companies to kind of do
If
things.
they put medicine in beer, I would be healthy.
Beer is medicine.
It is.
It saved the world.
It heals the soul.
Oh yeah.
It built the world. That and porn.
That's what the internet's for.
Beer? Sweet.
Porn. And beer, yeah.
I don't know about sweet beers. They confuse me when they're like, "Oh, we added this fruit flavor to your beer," and I'm like, you know, it's.
Well, I think I told you last week, avocado beer. What?
Beer, no. Cider, yes.
Yeah, cider. Yeah, absolutely.
Cider, it works well in strawberry, lime, something like that. A nice pint of it over ice in the summer. Just beer, no. It's fucking beer. Stop dicking around with it.
Did
Yeah,
you-
one exception would be something like Desperado did, where they did a beer with lime, something like that.
Well,
You know,
citrus,
that-
a hint of
citrus
citrus.
hops, they go
helps.
together well.
Yeah, they do. What were you gonna say, Elizabeth?
Avocado beer. Did you try it, John?
I did.
What? How bad was it? How good was
It was not good.
it? Oh.
So it wasn't
Did
creamy
it
and
taste of
buttery.
avocado?
No, it tasted mushy. I don't know. It's
Mushy?
not-
Just plant-like.
It had kind of a oily texture.
That makes
I
sense.
don't know what it was. It just wasn't good. It's what it wasn't.
Mm.
And I think some guys try to be, well, this is the new thing I'm going to try out. Like,
Oh,
all right.
Kevin, speaking of trying new things, Sirsha, the Artichoke Me Harder Daddy, she
Yeah.
sent Andrea and I the first season of American Gods.
Oh, yeah,
What
yeah.
a delicious television show. What a wonderful story that unfolded. And
It's one of my favorite Neil Gaiman books.
it's I'm reading the book now, and it's amazing how, at least in the first couple chapters, I haven't got past that yet. But it matched very closely with only minor changes. It made sense that they would change it for television. Like one
When
character.
you've read it, if you know anybody who's got a copy, or you can get your hands on Neil Gaiman's collection of short stories, he's written a couple of other short stories that mention the main characters of American Gods after those events, so you can kind of follow one of the characters after the end of it.
I'll
Nice.
send you out a few of the comics for the new comic that's out for it.
Oh, is it good?
It's pretty good.
Which you were you talking about, Kevin or me?
Both.
Oh, okay.
Oh, check,
Everybody.
check the cost of the shipping before you agree to that in
I'm
writing.
not shipping it. They are.
Well, I do have your glass all packed up.
Oh,
I
oh,
just
yeah, I
need to get
forgot
to the
that's
post
awesome.
office. It's a pint glass. Talk of the Tavern.
You
Pint
haven't
glass.
seen
It was
these?
etched. No, he's been gone for a while.
Have you been
I
gone that
saw
long?
it. No, I saw it. I saw the pint glass.
Okay.
Not the black one.
We can
The
send
etched
you
one.
a bike, one part at a time. We just put it back together.
One piece
EMF.
at a time, and it didn't cost me a
A
dime.
dime. Yep. Well, we're taking the FJ 1100 apart, so send you that.
One day,
I'm not shipping that.
one day I'll
You
get a
know.
motorcycle. I have the license, I just don't have a motorcycle to go with it.
Maybe I'll lend you one.
Lend me a beginner one.
I don't have any of those.
Well,
Use
just
training wheels.
yeah. Well, keep in mind it's not a lot of practical experience on one, so just
One that you can crash.
Yeah.
well,
Teach me
They
in the parking
call,
lot.
they call that a donor cycle.
Mhm.
Donating your organs.
I am an organ donor.
Best thing is you got and rent one for the weekend.
There are a surprising number of bikers on this island, considering the island is 24 miles by 12. There are not a lot of places on the, and it's a lot of old country roads as well. We're not there's like literally one. We have one strip of dual carriageway on, and it's about 2/3 of a mile long.
Now you're pretty tall. What do you prefer to ride?
It's. I've only had a couple of
Why?
bikes. I've only had a couple of bikes, and mine have been smaller learner bikes.
I
But
said
I
what,
can't.
not who.
Hey, Rich,
It's
thanks
got
for
to
the
be
host.
some.
Appreciate it, Rich.
It's
Go on.
It's got to be cruisers, something cruiser style. I can't ride anything with a riding position where my feet are behind me or below me because it's not so much my height. My legs are where a lot of my height is. And so anything where I'm trying to lean forward like this, my weight ends up counted too far over the front of the bike. So it's got to be reclined riding
I
position.
can understand that.
Real quick. Rich, thank you for the raid also. Glad to see you and your
Hey.
3
Oh,
viewers.
hi,
Appreciate you
everybody.
popping in. Hello to everybody who's just joining us. We
Hey,
are
everyone.
got about a half hour left and we're doing our 3rd hour, which is kind of random and everything. So feel free to pop in or see if you have any questions, comments, or whatever. Don't be shy.
And afterward is World of Warcraft, so you
It
can
is.
stick around.
Yeah, we'll be doing some World War. Let me do a shout out for Rich here, because if any of my viewers don't follow him, he has very similar content. Just got to make sure I spell
I
it.
believe I follow him
I think most of us.
wherever he may go.
I'm trying to avoid getting reeled back into that game.
Yeah, he also does a lot of our graphics and whatnot. So, John, you might be joining us for World of Warcraft. Is that what you're telling me?
I'm avoiding it if I can.
So, were you a heavy raider, or were you like us, where we love doing all the extra little bonus stupid shit like collecting pets and mounts and the
I
holiday
believe
stuff?
if I pay for a game, I'm going to play the game. I don't care what level I am. I want to enjoy playing it. I don't mind getting to the high level of whatever.
Okay, very similar to us then.
I'm at level 21 because someone that's awesome got me a tie-in card.
Yay.
That would be Chris. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate that. She's very excited about it. She was only level 20 and we are doing dungeons and she couldn't level anymore, but she was having a good time and
Yeah.
she's learning how to fish and do the cooking and all the crafting stuff.
Well, when MMOs were really popular, we used to actually give out accounts at the store.
Oh, wow.
City Heroes was one of them.
I
We
used to
had
play that.
8 accounts. We used to give people accounts just to take home. They would log on, play it however they wanted. When they were done, we just gave it to somebody else to play with. I mean, that was the agreement was if you stop playing, let somebody else play. And I'd like to maybe do that once we get the cyber cafe set up in here, where each of the systems has maybe WoW on it or popular MMOs, and just let them come in and play.
Nice.
That's a good idea.
I don't know if WoW kind of stops you from doing that, though.
I don't know.
I know you can't transfer accounts and that type of thing. So
Well, you could give them the login.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, and the IP
Everybody can
address
make their
would
own
be
character.
steady. So yeah, so we'll see. That might be something we might do.
So, well, if you do jump back in, let us know. You're welcome to join us. On Discord and in the game. So
I'll
you've seen
play
how
a
it
Ret
goes.
Paladin again.
It's always good to have a healer.
Yeah.
Well, that used to be the joke because when they weren't popular, you'd always get the tell, hey, can you heal? My answer would usually be, can you fight? And leave me alone. I'm not spec for healing people other than myself.
Oh,
So I was more of a
retribution.
tank.
Never mind.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
retribution paladin.
I'm not a paladin guy. My bad.
That's okay. It's like that.
I have a bear.
What? That's not a class.
No,
I'm
that's a
not
lifestyle.
Ah,
She's a hunter, so she has
is
a.
that what you call Travis?
Oh no, I am not hairy enough to be a bear. That's for
Oh.
damn sure.
Teddy the Teddy.
My nickname was Concrete Teddy Bear at one time.
There we go.
But were you with Cinnamon?
You ever have sake out of a young girl's pubes?
No, I'd probably punch that guy though.
Oh, by the way, at
Okay.
MarsCon, I am setting up a cigar smoke out on Friday night. So I'm having my buddy who runs a cigar distribution company send some stuff over, including some of, his cards and whatnot. And he
The goat and weasel.
said, "What do you want?" I said, how about a box of mild, a box of medium, and a box of full body? And he went, "Okay, no problem. I'll have it to you before Thanksgiving." Then he comes back. He's like, "I've got an idea. Would you rather have those 3 boxes, or would you rather have 10 Opus X?" And I'm like, huh. Now, for those of you that don't know, Opus X is a very fine cigar, very expensive. And I don't know how many people will show up considering it's kind of a off-the-cuff type thing. It might be.
But then you're like, well, I have to share these with everyone.
Well, my thought
Charge
is,
them for them.
well, that's hard. You can't, because it's a regulated product. So, like selling alcohol when you're not the hotel. And the same for asking for tips or raffling
You
them
can
off.
ask it to go to charity.
It's
It's only illegal if you get caught.
I'll be bringing my own cigars because, yeah.
Yeah, you will.
But John,
Yeah,
I mentioned it. I don't remember if you enjoy cigars at all, but
He doesn't
Okay.
smoke.
it'll be outside by the pool, so you're welcome to join us if you're not offended by them.
Nope.
He's just offended by humor.
That again.
Have we gotten to this point in our society? I remember being studying in a dojo, and then I wasn't allowed to eat meat in the house because it was vegetarian. Fine. So I'd go out, but I wasn't even allowed to eat meat on, the dojo event because it would offend me. I mean, now we can't even smoke a cigar. I mean, you can't kill yourself in public. What is the world coming to?
I did
Yeah.
find
I
it
mean, if you're
amusing.
outside, I don't see why not.
Yeah, you can't curse at people. You can't hit.
The fuck you can't.
When
I was just thinking that.
What if I don't want to what if I want to cry about myself in public? Next thing you know, I can't do that.
Well, Andrea's got buckets for that at where she works.
she does.
It is offensive. I'm offended that they're offended. I'm offended by stupidity.
Oh,
There we go.
Oh, what's that guy? I'm gonna have to
You're never
Google it
going to
'cause I
get
can't.
over it.
I remember going into smoke-filled bars, and I always asked, am I allowed to smoke pipes or cigars here? And when they said yes, I'd light up, whatever I had that day. And usually with a pipe, you'd get a crowd around you, standing close enough to smell it and enjoy it. With a cigar, you'd have people with cigarettes coming up to you, bitching about your cigar.
Mm.
Really?
yeah.
Hmm.
I'm offended by that.
Your cigar stinks.
You guys know who Stephen Fry is?
Yes.
Yes. You mentioned him a time or two.
Yeah, I love Stephen. There is a famous quote by him about being offended, and I just called it up because I couldn't remember it exactly. It says, "It's now very common to hear people say, 'I'm rather offended by that,' as if that gives anybody certain rights. It's no more than a whine. It has no meaning. It has no purpose. It has no reason to be respected as a phrase. I'm offended by that. Well, so fucking what?"
It's exactly.
Here.
Get the fuck out of here.
Well, it's their right to be offended. It's our right to not give a damn.
Yeah, but why do they have to be so loud?
They want attention. They want to give their life meaning by making other people do what they
Miserable.
say, or miserable. Either one is okay.
It's this whole concept of just because you're offended by something, that validates a reason for it not to exist. No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean anything offended other than you are offended. Tough
Well,
shit.
I think
Because
it means
what
that
you believe
they're
in clashes with whatever it is. Doesn't mean everybody else has to follow suit. It doesn't mean that you have a right to call for it not to exist or to be hidden away from you just because you don't get on with it. Move the fuck up.
Well, notice how they
You're not the
congregate
king.
in little conformist groups is the thing. And you know, it's just a bunch of chattering, you know,
They can get
child
scary, though.
children. No.
if you're offended by something, to me that suggests that maybe you're not only closed-minded, but perhaps simple-minded, that you haven't even taken the time or the effort to just learn about it or appreciate
There-
it on a level where you're not offended. Where take a risk and see something beautiful, even the absurd or the ugly or mundane. Take a risk.
Well, if you have said person chattering in your ear trying to upset you, you can usually ask them, well, is your intent to incite me to violence, to hit you? And as soon as they say yes, I'll say, well, you've got what you want. And do it. Because it's a contract. They've said that that's what they want to happen. So
How does
honoring
that
the
hold up in
contract.
court?
I don't know. Should we find out?
I'm offended by courts.
If you hit them well enough, you won't have to fight.
Because they might be, you know, masochists. They might want me to hit them. I'm just providing them a service.
Like
I didn't
Monty
know this
Python.
prior-
I
They
wasn't
might
being
be insane.
I wasn't
You
being
never know.
aggressive, Your Honor. I was attempting to establish context.
Indeed.
That might work.
It might.
It's a sad little truth. That might work.
But I'm sure somebody would find it offensive.
Good.
Fuck
Oh.
We need
off.
more of that. It's a new weight loss program. Be offended 24 hours a day. Melt the fat away. Triggering could be your cure to fatness.
Trigger warning. Yeah. Maybe it'll work with the sake guy. That'll be the first one I can try. How's that?
How come the people that are always offended are fat? I'm just starting.
Bulky. We're not necessarily.
I'm offended by that.
Well, I'm fat because my mouth exceeds my ass's ability to get rid of food. And it tends to just, you know, kind of
Yeah.
congregate right here.
And I try to get a bigger ass to get rid of it, and it doesn't work. It's what can we talk about for the last 20 minutes? It's
Drugs.
drugs.
Woo! Oh,
Rock and roll.
What do you think of the legalization of the marijuana products, guys?
I'm fine with it.
it's about time. It should be everywhere, but you know.
I think that if they would have, so in the state where we're in, Virginia, they're going to be opposed to it probably for a bit.
Right.
To get around that, what they should have done was say, look, here's establishments where you can go in and you can smoke. It's going to be regulated. You know, you have to, after you've smoked for this amount of time, you have to go to watch television or eat. And then if the bar doesn't think that you're able to drive, they'll provide you with a taxi. But it takes away people's arguments to start with on why it shouldn't be allowed to be done. You look at what they're going to bitch about first, and you get rid of all those things.
Well, I like the idea of the edibles. That
Well, that's fine.
they don't come with the high when they produce them in the certain way. I forget which chemical they. Andrea, go ahead, Kev.
CBD.
There we go. It has that, so you're getting essentially the same as having Tylenol or Excedrin.
It's a little different. It doesn't have the amount of THC because the oil is refined and distilled and all this other stuff. So it doesn't have the same effect as the THC when you have.
We actually have certain pot plants that are grown just to not have a high concentrated THC in
Mhm.
it anyway.
I
And
mean, it
it's
still
usable
has
for
it
what
in
you're
it.
talking about, right? Well, you can't get rid of it
Yeah.
totally.
Like
Well,
But
just like when
non-alcoholic beer.
any meds, like even in the hospital, when you take something, you get a little woo, you know.
but that's the whole thing with hemp and other things that
Mhm.
has been restricted, where you know it helps relieve all that pressure on that product too. So
It's there's so much good that can be done, and it is natural. Now it can be messed up with the growing process or whatever, but if it's regulated,
well,
then
and that's the thing. How far do you allow somebody to be responsible for their own actions?
yeah.
Mm.
Well, see, if it's regulated, there's so much good that could be done. There's people that won't use the products because it's illegal where they are, but it could help them with their chronic
Pain.
disease or, cancer or, whatever. And then there's, you have the government take it over. It's regulated. You have jobs. So it's
Well, we're pretty much seeing most of that in most states anyway.
just not here. Yeah. I
There
mean,
was
if you look at it,
Well, yeah, it can be prescribed in Virginia.
there was a great TV program on a little while ago here in the UK, where 4 or 5 sort of B-list, not to be unkind, celebrities from British TV. They all went as a group on holiday to America, and they went to research the sudden explosion, if you like, in recent years of the legalization of marijuana and kind of dispensaries popping up all over the place and this kind of thing. So they went off to make this program. One of these guys was John Fashner, former footballer, and his son. I can't remember if it's epilepsy he's got or something else, but one of the symptoms of whatever is wrong with him is that he suffers from microfits all the time, and it disrupts. Yeah, it disrupts his life quite dramatically.
Mm-hmm.
And in one scene in that program, they met a woman in the US whose son had something very similar, who was using a form of cannabis oil to treat him, and it completely solved his problem with these tears. And John Fashioner just literally broke down in tears and was sobbing and had to be taken out of the room. And when he was finally sort of together enough to come back on camera, he said, "Why am I not allowed to give my son this in our country?"
Well, and
Yeah.
actually, the first thing was a young girl that had that. It actually eliminated all of her seizures, and she had huge ones. I mean, like you're gonna die type seizures. So the grand mal or whatever they call the
Yeah.
big seizures that people have.
well, like with anything, whether it's marijuana or Oxycontin, Vicodin, there's always going to be that small percentage that's going to abuse it.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
and I think that if somebody wants to experiment with different drugs, if they're rich enough to pay a doctor to supervise it and make sure that they don't die from it, if they want to experience it, I say go ahead.
yeah, I
Sign
mean,
a waiver.
you
But it's
can't
supervised.
you just can't punish the majority that would benefit from it from the small
Of
percentage
course.
that's going to fuck it up.
Right.
Same thing with alcohol. There's people that abuse it.
And I think the era as well of the whole stigmata over why marijuana was initially sort of demonized is long since past now.
Mhm.
You know, it's judged by a completely different set of standards, and governments also are waking up to the fact that they've been missing out on a perfectly good taxable opportunity as well.
Mhm.
Well,
There's a
and
vast revenue to be made from it.
I think they're trying to justify poor decisions in the past about, banning it and that type of thing. They're going to stick with that for a bit, but eventually it's just going to wear. Well, it already is wearing down that argument and stuff. So, but they're always going to say, well, it's a gateway this, or they'll just find a different thing. That's just an argument for it's nothing. Or this is already negative. You can't say, well, alcohol is legal. And their argument is, well, we don't want two bad things. Well, that's not true.
I think part of it as well comes down to, I think it was something you said earlier actually, that it's not so much that it's in their interest It's that it's, you know, it's in our interest and it doesn't collide with anything they want to do. You know, it's something they can give us as the public that's a sop for all the other shit they're going to put. You know, they've decided there's no reason any longer for us to carry on spending all of this money demonizing marijuana. We can make a profit off it and be seen to be doing something positive for the people.
And we have a local politician now. He's all for it, and he's telling people, "Hey, I'm going to try to get this legalized." He's just using it as a ploy to keep himself in his
Whatever.
position.
If the
Elizabeth?
end result is more people benefit, then why not?
Of course.
Elizabeth, any further thoughts on this? You've been the one that's spoken the least.
I'd say I don't. Okay, number one, we need to clarify the effects of marijuana. There has been studies, but I'd like to really clarify that. I'm not the person to do it, but I'd like studies done. Number two, I think if you're under the age of, I don't know, 25, 21, you shouldn't be smoking pot. Still developing brain.
I agree with you. There's starting to be quantifiable medical research now that excessive use of marijuana, especially stronger skunk strains around these days in younger children, can lead to chemical imbalances that cause brain problems later on, behavioral problems with depression or manicness or whatever. It makes them more prone to that if they have a natural proclivity for it. So
Well, I
yeah, I
know
agree with you.
the studies are growing by leaps and bounds now that it is legal in certain areas. They're actually able to do a real study now.
Yeah, it's not an underground thing or a small test batch in an authorized lab somewhere. They can genuinely do these tests in a large populace now. So now we're fine. You've got a valid point, Elizabeth. Now we are only really at the beginning of an era where we're finally actually going to understand cannabis.
Right. And I'm all for the cannabis that can actually help you, especially if it doesn't help you. How about giving it to people it seems to have an effect on, and then studying the effects from them?
Mm-hmm.
They're happy with doing this, not having seizures every 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Problem. But it does take time for laws to catch up. I think we should be wary on just an overreach. Here we go.
I definitely think.
Although I agree, if people want to eat Oreos the rest of their lives every single day or Big Macs, they should be allowed the freedom to do so.
Some of them do.
Even though
There
it's
is
bad for 'em,
definitely a kind of counter wave going on now. People making outrageous claims about cannabis. We know now that there are medical tests. That's been proven. To what extent and for what ailments, we're still determining the parameters of that. It's.
I get a call about every day about investing in the next CBD oil company that's making CBD oil. It's like there's bazillions of them out there.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, I think time will tell. Give us 20 years and it'll be a different world. And it might be banned again in 20 years. We might finally go, oh, no. But then again, if we do that, we need to remove alcohol from the market too, don't we?
But I think if you're close to death, like you're close, they say, okay, you're going to die within however many months.
Right.
You should be able to do whatever the fuck you want.
It's
I don't think you should be running around killing people. You know,
it's your scale. I mean, you have to weigh the benefits versus the negative parts of anything.
Everybody should have a choice, because there's some people that choose not to use any of the medicines or go through radiation or chemo because they have cancer, but they do have that choice.
Right.
So why not have the choice if you have these horrible seizures to be able to take this? You could say no.
Because we're not adults enough to make decisions for ourselves. We're not responsible.
Well.
What is?
Yes, Elizabeth.
No, I mean,
I was going to say that's a Democrat thing.
we get into a lot of discussions with people that are into socialism about those particular things. They tend to be people that want people to run their lives for them.
Oh.
They have to make minimal decisions.
Oh.
You know.
I don't want that.
Sorry.
Oh God, no.
You know, but if you believe in freedom whatsoever, you want to make choices for yourself. you don't learn if you don't make mistakes and if you don't make choices.
Ah,
You know, socialism just kind of, you know, to me, I don't get it. If you want to be a socialist, there's nothing in the United States that stops you from go renting a farm somewhere and doing all this stuff on your own.
we
So,
went from pot to socialism. All right. Here we go.
Welcome to Talk of the Tavern.
Dragon Dead.
Don't they go hand in doobie? Do they still call them doobies?
Doobie doobie doo.
I don't know what they call them.
I'm just watching her TV, the
I know, I'm watching it too.
projection.
That's why I keep looking over here because I can see it better here.
mesmerizing. There you go.
Here.
It's-
It's
All I know is it's all over New York on the streets for smoking. I got a guy who was collecting money from his hooker, or what do they call them? The tube and the she.
Prostitute.
He's taking all her money and putting it in a bag, paper bag, but he was too high to undo the bag. Trying to help him, and the ones and 20s are falling on the ground. Let's keep it.
Wow.
Who's to say they're doing any better or worse than I? Who's to say?
It's a job opportunity,
There you go. $20.
I was on my way to Valhalla. I was.
I can't believe it took 2 hours and 52 minutes for some say 20.
Well, we've that's something else
Did you
that's
say
happened in the past
Cody?
few weeks while you weren't here. We've moved on from that catchphrase to other ones, like we do.
Like slut bagel.
Back
Okay.
balls.
Spag
Bag
balls.
balls.
Spag balls and slut bagel.
I see I've missed a lot.
And yet you missed.
Now, I'm going to do a quick
I've
wrap
got
up
to
here.
stop doing that.
Oh, yeah. Going to do a quick wrap up here, and then we'll cruise through the last few minutes. For everybody who's watching, if you care to continue to watch after the 11 o'clock hour, we're going to take a very short break, and then Andrea and I are going to come back and play World of Warcraft, possibly some other folks joining us on Discord. Not video, just voice. And make sure you join us. We're pretty much here every day during the week, but Monday nights are our big crowd night, in that we have a big crowd. And
On the camera.
and during the week, John joins us sometimes, Elizabeth joins us sometimes, Kevin fucks off and we don't know where he goes. But also Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night on Andrea's channel, we do the live tabletop role playing where we definitely encourage our viewers to chime in, give ideas, thoughts, opinions, harassment, and all the good stuff that goes with gaming. We have a great time. I'm looking forward to everything else. This week I have some good stuff planned. At least I'm amused by it. So it's I
I
do
have
not.
no idea. I have no idea at the moment what next week's rotor is.
It's I'd have to look it up. Give me a second. I'll pull it up and find
I'm
out.
in my rotor, but
His,
Oh.
not yours. Look, I finished this scarf tonight. It's an infinity.
Oh,
That's
Infinity
cool.
ruffle scarf.
no.
yes.
Yeah, I learned how to knit recently, so knitting everything.
Let's see here. What do we got for next week?
Cool.
That way everybody has a clue what we're supposed to be doing and in theory talking about.
Oh, you want to know next week's show? I could tell you because I have the banner stuff. Do you want to know?
Oh, sure.
All right, hold on. I gotta get to it. It is.
We could race.
What is next week's?
Date?
Yeah.
The 15th.
Here we go.
Theater. Oh shit. I need to print out the script and read through it again. We're gonna talk about theater and do the script, the audio drama that was submitted
By Jay Smith.
by Jay Smith.
It's and the week after that, Hidden Gem. What's that, Elizabeth?
I'm looking forward to it.
It's, we'll have Ed back, which is important.
I know which role I want him to be.
There we go. And
It's a surprise.
the week after that, we have Hidden Gems, a movie props versus CGI. And then for the 29th, we're doing Witching and Wizardry fandom, where we discuss Harry Potter, Supernatural, Dresden Files, and so on. So, but during the week, we are here anyway. Always have conversation open for you guys. Whether it's cheap advice, free advice.
Or expensive, whatever.
We got to work on that one.
Mm. Yeah, I guess we're not very good at that, huh?
No, we'd be a different world if we knew how to charge for what we do. It's, oh, but that, Kevin, it was good to see you again. Good to have you back for a couple hours.
It's been nice to see you guys again. I have missed all of you. Yeah, that's it. You're not getting anything else out of me. That's as mushy as I'm getting.
That's good enough. If
No,
Bob,
it's been a joy as always. I've enjoyed the reason I like hanging out with guys, is, apart from the intelligent and witty discourse, is that 3 hours has flown by. So.
it does. We appreciate you taking the time with your hectic schedule, and hopefully it improves for
I
you.
would have been with you sooner if I.
It's okay, man.
I
We
say
get it.
it's not lack of willing that's kept me away. So
It's
I'll give you a shout as soon as I know what I'm doing on a week by week basis now. Hopefully, theoretically, I'm just 2 or 3 weeks away from things chilling the fuck out.
Yay!
I am definitely taking the first week of November off on holiday. Or
Very good.
quitting my company.
Where are
I
you
don't
going?
care if they're watching. Nowhere.
Nowhere. Nice.
No,
Taking a
I'm
nap.
taking an entire week off. Possibly going to sleep for about 4.5 days a bit.
There you go.
Hibernate, like a very grouchy mammal of some kind. Hide in my room.
Well, do tell
Leave
Em we
my
said
wife
hello.
to look after the children. Yeah. I'm going to go and work out wherever Fred is and curl up there with him.
If you ever get to see Em, because now you're working.
Yeah, it's been tough. She's an absolute true. She knows what it's like. She's been tired. So it's not like she's new to the hours I plunge into this trade sometimes. So she knows it's ebb and flow. Sometimes she never sees me, and then other times during the season and stuff, it's more chilled out. Use up the whole day that I have a chance to take books on end, and so life's a question of balances.
Very good. Let's do a closing toast.
Yeah, let's do that.
But I get my dick.
Get your dick. I'll get my Contigo. It's like a dick, but blue. Man, here's to you guys. That's all there is. Here's to
Here, here.
you. Water. I had like 4 sodas today. I think I was done with them. So
Your kidneys like.
we had good food though. We had leftover Indian food from yesterday. Andrea made some chicken salad. She's making chicken soup now, and then I had a really nice ham and salami hoagie that I made here. Bought the lunch meat for that, so that was good stuff. And then of course we have cats.
I have fish in here.
Pate,
Okay, let me play the
Pussy.
outro music.